did out in the bullpen area under the watchful eye of both Tony Cloninger. You can see the trainer Chris Corrente there, as well as Grady Little, and a situation where he says he's ready to pitch, and he could pitch tonight if he needed to. That is wishful thinking, as it turns out, for Dustin Hermans. As Bob mentioned very briefly, it is more likely that he will pitch at least one more time here. Grady saying before the ball game that he figures a simulated game later this week will be really what he should do, and then go down and make a couple of rehab stints. Now, those stints will be about 2 innings each is what they figure, and at this point, even though he was in the rotation to begin the year, Grady figures when he comes back, he'll do so out of the bullpen, at least to begin. Now, long-term, Dustin would obviously go back into the rotation. He's been a starter for the most part in his career, but to begin, it looks as if he's going to help the Red Sox maybe after the break in the bullpen. So that's certainly good news, because he's certainly been off the radar screen for a while. Also, an interesting note on Tim Wakefield today, coming from Grady Little. He was asked if we would see maybe Tim Wakefield in both games of the doubleheader tomorrow. He said no, but possibly we could see Tim Wakefield come out of the bullpen tonight to perhaps close. Uget Urbina going a long way yesterday. Unlikely that he would pitch tonight. If a save situation comes up, Tim Wakefield could be used tonight and start game 1 tomorrow. So that could be interesting also. Grady talked also a little bit today about Pedro Martinez, still up in the air as to whether Pedro would pitch in the All-Star game. Even though he has been selected, it is up to Pedro. A couple weeks ago, you may remember, Grady Little had said that he would rather Pedro not pitch. Now he's kind of changed his stance on that. He'll let Pedro make that decision. The Red Sox looking to turn the corner here on July now after a 10-16 June, and hoping tonight is really the beginning of a winning streak. We'll now send it back downstairs again to Bob. Bob?
All right, Donnie, thanks. Well, let's forget the month of June ever even happened for the Boston Red Sox. Only 2 games behind, so that's not too bad. By the way, we should tell you that Toronto Blue Jays general manager JP Ricciardi, the Massachusetts native, was supposed to join us on Red Sox Digest tonight. He has had to cancel. There are rumors here at the ballpark that the Blue Jays have made a trade with the New York Yankees. It may involve Harold Mondesi. If we get any word on that before we sign off here tonight, we'll be talking about that. Plus, Tom Caron will be joining us, and we'll talk about that as well. Plus, Jerry Remy also a little bit later here on Red Sox Digest. But up next, you'll hear from one of the Red Sox All-Stars, Shay Hillenbrand, as we continue here on NESN.
I appreciate your help.
No problem.
Thanks, Ben.
Sure. And call me anytime about that equity loan. Bye, Martha.
Bye.
Would you mind?
Oh, no, not at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, so you work at the grocery store, do you?
No, ma'am. I work at the bank. In the grocery store.
Oh, that's nice.
So you couldn't find a space in the lot?
Oh, I don't have a car.
Grab life during the National Minivan event. Whether you're a planter, a painter, or a parent, it's a great time to buy a Dodge Caravan. Now you get 7 years or 100,000 miles of engine and transmission protection, something you don't get from Ford, GM, Honda, or Toyota. And now until July 8th, Dodge gives you a $2,500 cash allowance or 0% financing, plus make no payments for 90 days. Hurry, these offers on America's best-selling minivan end July 8th.
The 2002 Bay State Summer Games will kick off with an Olympic-style opening ceremony on July 11th at City Hall Plaza at 7:30. Registration is still open for some sports, so sign up today. For more information, call 781-932-6555 or visit baystategames.org. Red Sox opening a 4-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays here tonight. Pedro Martinez gunning for his 10th win of the season. Of course, Pedro is an all-star. That's nothing new. But how about third baseman Shay Hillenbrand? He will be the answer to the trivia question. Who replaces Cal Ripken at third base on the American League All-Star team? That is the answer. And he joins us now with Tom Caron.
Thanks very much, Shay. Kind of a mixed news bag yesterday. Obviously, 5 guys on the team make the All-Star team. Every one of them would have traded it in for a few more wins over the last couple of weeks. Kind of mixed emotions when you get the good news personally, but you're with a team that's struggling a little bit right now?
Yeah, most definitely. It's a situation where we come out, had a tough interleague, and we found out yesterday. And for myself, very gratifying. You know, I really am thrilled about it. But like you said, you touched it right on you hit the nail right on the nose. You know, about us as players collectively. You know, it's not the best day to find out news like that.
For you personally, and now that you've had a little time to get away from yesterday's game, think about it a little bit this morning. How gratifying is it to achieve this as quickly as you have? You were given an opportunity a couple of years ago, jumped through from AA to the majors, took advantage of that, and here you are, an all-star. Not just an all-star, but starting, voted in by the fans. That's got to mean a lot.
It means a whole heck of a lot to me, and I couldn't thank any fan enough for being voted in. Because like you said, you know, there's only so many Boston fans. And for a person like myself in my second year, it's difficult and really uneasy to find out how to get information out on myself and people to find out who I am. You know, so it's very gratifying, and I'm enjoying it. And it's like I said, it's unbelievable. And you do it at third base, a position that was held down pretty well by a guy named Ripken for a long time. Yeah, like you said, you know, I hadn't played third base before last year, and learned last year at the major league level, and had a lot of great resources here. And just going out and doing it and getting the experience. And you know, I like to thank Jimmy Williams for giving me the opportunity. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. If anybody else was in that position last year, he was in. I don't believe any of them would have given me the opportunity that he gave me. And just going out and being able to take advantage of that opportunity is gratifying. As you approach the midway point here, you'll be out in Milwaukee. You'll be asked a lot of questions about the season for you so far. How much has changed from that rookie year to this first half of the year? How much different are you as a player, as a hitter, as a major leaguer? It's night and day. You know, last year I came in and just surviving in survival mode. You know, going out and got me to the big leagues. And right now I'm just going out and feel more comfortable and get more experience. And that's what you need, is get more experience in a player in my position. So it's fun in the same way, and I'm able to enjoy it more and go out and feel more comfortable and be able to make adjustments on a daily basis, because that's what it's like, you know, because you have to go out and be able to handle situations and know what you need to do to adjust on a daily basis. Down in the locker room a few minutes ago, guys are laughing and joking. Grady talked about turning the page here. A new month, interleague's behind you. Is that kind of the feeling as you show up at the ballpark today? That's the kind of feeling we have every day we show up at the ballpark. If you come in after the game, we lose a game, it's kind of tough around there, but every time we come to the ballpark, whether we lost 4 in a row, whether we won 10 in a row, it doesn't matter, because that's the type of attitude you have to have. And we have guys in this team that are great veteran players and very experienced players that we go out and try not to let that affect us, and we're just going to go out and take each day as it comes. Well, it's been a quiet locker room after the game. I know you guys are dying to play that music again, aren't you? Yeah, we need Carlos in there running the DJ. Shay, thanks. Congratulations. Thank you very much. That's all-star starting third baseman Shay Hillenbrand. Let's go back to Bob.
All right, Tommy, thanks a lot. And as far as the all-star team is concerned, as far as the guys getting voted in, Shay Hillenbrand, Manny Ramirez, both getting the fans' vote. That's really nice to see, especially for Hillenbrand, really just a second-year player. The Yankees have quite a few, as you might guess. Fonzo Soriano, Jorge Posada will get the start, Jason Giambi. The reserves, the Yankees, Joe Torre, as always, usually picks a lot of his guys. This year, no difference. The real surprise might be at shortstop. Look how many shortstops that Joe Torre will go with, because he says, frankly, that's the best middle infield in baseball. So he goes with them all, including Miguel Tejada. Omar Vizquel has already passed his career high in home runs for the season. Paul Konerko certainly deserving for the White Sox. The pitchers for the American League, and we do not know yet who will start, but most likely it will be Derek Lowe. Pedro Martinez, Mark Burley, Roy Halladay will represent the Blue Jays, and the rest of what you see is what you get. So again, we're telling you about some trade rumors here that are at Fenway Park. We are hearing that it is indeed a done deal. The Yankees have acquired Raul Mondesi. When we get more details, we'll pass that along to you. If we don't get it before Red Sox Digest is done tonight, Don and Jerry will be talking about that during the ball game. But let's get back to this whole all-star situation. Johnny Damon, he should have been selected by Joe Torre. There's no question about that. He has been the glue that has kept this team together. Maybe the most significant addition to this team in the offseason. Not just the bat, though. Of course, he has the great glove out there in center field as well. But he's not an all-star, at least not yet. He will need your help. If you want Johnny Damon to be on the all-star team, you have a vote in that. It's the 30th man vote, and these are the candidates: Johnny Damon, Darren Erstad, Eric Chavez, Maglio Ordonez, and Jim Thome. You can go to RedSox.com and vote until Tuesday. Again, what the fans vote for is what will happen. So if you, members of Red Sox Nation, want Johnny Damon on the All-Star team, log on right now to RedSox.com. Coming up next, you can ask Jerry Remy any question you'd like. It's Ask Remy. Log on to Nesson.com and to Boston.com as well. That's coming up next on Nesson.
It's
Okay, Wilson, listen up. If we catch him in cover 2, you go deep. 92 blast! Go! Of course the Mike linebacker's going to bite on play action. What do you think, I'm crazy? I'm done talking to you. Be the ball. Be the ball. If a safety falls on the post route, do you think anyone would hear him? I can feel it.
NFL Sunday Ticket. Be prepared. Order now and save $20 off the regular season price.
I now have football. Yes!
Innovative Sports presents the Duel of Champions when Mexican title holders Club America battle defending Copa Libertadores champs Boca Juniors live from Houston, Texas, Tuesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss this showdown between two Latin giants, Mexico's Club America against Argentina's Boca Juniors, Tuesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern, live on Direct Ticket Pay-Per-View.
Travel provided by U.S. Airways, offering the only shuttle linking Boston, Washington, and New York with frequent flights all day long. Fly U.S. Airways shuttle.
Mom? Dad?
I snuck out. You caught me.
Invaded my privacy. I hated it.
I hated you.
I thought you were the worst parents in the world.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Red Sox Digest, everybody. Bob Rogers flying solo tonight, at least down here on the field, because Jim Corsi has not arrived yet. We knew he wasn't going to be here. He's going to join us tonight on Extra Innings, but always on time and in his place. It's Jerry Remy. He's up in the broadcast booth. Jerry, our first question comes from Chet Hubbard from Newport, Maine, and Chet has our Boston.com question. He wants to talk about the top of the order. He wants to know, Jerry, do you think that Johnny Damon should bat leadoff every game and Trot Nixon should bat second?
Well, they tried Nixon a couple of times up at the number 2 spot. Of course, he hit there quite a bit last season. They tried to get him started, as a matter of fact, by moving up in the order. It was struggled a little bit, so he's back down the bottom. You know, they have Ricky in there at times against left-handers, and of course, a lot of people wonder, why doesn't Johnny lead off against lefties? The fact is, Ricky's been the greatest leadoff hitter in the game of baseball for a long period of time. Now, he doesn't hit like he once did, but he still draws a walk, and when he gets on first base, he's definitely a threat to steal, so that gets Damon more fastballs to hit, and of course, Johnny's a very good fastball hitter. So, you know, that's one of the reasons they do the flip-flop like that. But Nixon, if he was swinging the bat better, they probably would give him a chance against right-handers up at that number 2 spot. Right now, Baega doing a pretty good job there.
Jerry, Kevin Lawson from Holyoke, Mass. wants to talk about the All-Star selections by Joe Torre. Kind of a surprise that he picked all of the great shortstops in the game. Certainly there are a lot of them, 5 of them. What do you think of that selection?
Well, you know, if there were 5 great second basemen, it probably would not have happened, but that's not the case. Soriano, clearing away the best second baseman in the American League right now, and nobody really close to him. Sanchez was having a very good year before going on a disabled list, but that's the one position that's really stacked. You know, A-Rod, Tejada, Jeter, Gnomar, you go on and on. Vizquel, who's a guy, because he didn't hit a lot of home runs throughout his career, didn't make all-star teams, but probably the best defensively. So I don't blame Joe for it. You know, they're players that everybody wants to see. The people want to see him play. The problem is some of them are going to have to play the second base or third base in that game.
Jerry, why don't they expand the rosters? Don't you think they should add a couple more spots? I mean, guys like Johnny Damon and Jim Thome certainly belong.
Well, they do. You know, we talk about it every year, expanding the roster to get as many guys there as possible. The one problem with that, from the owner's point of view, is a lot of these guys in their contracts have big bonuses to make the All-Star team. So, you know, if you add 5 or 6 guys, you're going to have more guys going, more money paid out. That could be a problem.
Everything comes back to money, doesn't it?
Everything does.
All right, last question comes from Leo Gulagi, I think is the way you pronounce the name, from Lakeland, Florida, wants to know why the Red Sox offense was so anemic against the National League. Was it just a coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence. I think they saw some pretty good pitching. You know, that combined with some guys went into a little bit of a tailspin. But the fact is, you know, we were talking on this prior to coming on air tonight. We saw some very good pitching from those National League clubs. Not only starting pitching, but look at that bullpen for the Atlanta Braves. They were absolutely outstanding. Everybody in that bullpen has an ERA under 2, and that's remarkable. So we also saw closers like Gagne and Smoltz, you know, the Hoffman out there in San Diego. We saw some very, very good pitching from those National League ball clubs and some real good teams out there. That combined with some guys not swinging the bat as well as they possibly could added to the slump.
All right, Jerry, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Jerry Remy will call the game tonight with Don Orsillo here on Nesson. And joining us now, doing his best Jim Corsi impersonation.
Showing up late?
Even wearing the tie.
Yeah, you got to step it up a notch when you're with the big boys in the studio.
Tommy, I'm glad this National League business is over. The Red Sox can get back to focusing on winning baseball. And right now, Jerry makes a good point. They certainly faced outstanding pitching over that time.
Absolutely. You know, maybe just because the way it turns out, you play the NL West this year, and there's no question some of the top teams in baseball right now are out there. You got the Diamondbacks, obviously, and the Dodgers, And then you get the Braves to add on top of that. So you face teams with great pitching, great closers. But I will say this, out in the clubhouse this afternoon, they were laughing and joking. The music was playing. They really seemed to be having a good time. And Grady Little said, this team is ready to turn the page. Bring on July. Bring on the American League. Let's get back to work.
Still tied in the loss column, 2 games back overall against the Yankees, who we hear made a trade today, acquiring Raul Mondesi from the team that we're playing tonight, the Toronto Blue Jays. That could be a significant addition, although he really has not been the same player since he joined the Blue Jays. The question is, Tommy, do you think he'll be rejuvenated going to the Bronx?
Well, you know, I was talking to a Toronto writer today, and they were saying the great catch-22, if you will, about Mondesi is that he's been dying to get out of Toronto. Therefore, he hasn't been playing well. Therefore, no one's been interested in getting him. So maybe this breaks the cycle. Maybe he gets somewhere he wants to play, and he does get rejuvenated. You put him on a good team, and if he plays anything like he was playing a couple of years ago, he'll be a big addition to that Yankees team.
All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that, and I also want to talk to Tommy about, does that maybe force Mike Port's hand a little bit more? The Yankees go out and make a deal. Will the Red Sox be next? We'll talk about that and more on Red Sox Digest as Pedro Martinez goes for a win number 10 tonight on NESN.
It's July on NESN, and we're in mid-season form as the Red Sox face divisional rivals, head north of the border, and close out the month on the West Coast. Stay tuned for Diamonds in the Far East, Baseball in Japan, July's one-hour front row special. NESN keeps an eye on the farm in July with more Paw Sox coverage. NESN is your sports news and information leader with Sports Desk at ESPN News. It's NESN in July, and we're in mid-season form.
Get into the driver's seat in the battle against breast cancer. Join the effort to find a cure by taking a spin in a brand new BMW as part of the ultimate drive. For every mile you drive, BMW will donate $1 to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation for research, education, screening, and treatment. Help put the brakes on breast cancer today. Test drives launch from your local BMW dealership. For more information or to arrange for your drive, call 1-877-4A-DRIVE today.
Fireworks start early on NESN with 4 games in 3 days against the Toronto Blue Jays. Monday through Wednesday, the Sox play 4 against the Jays, including a Tuesday day-night double. It's always tense when divisional rivals come to town, and the Blue Jays are sure to keep the July heat on the Sox all week long. Tuesday, the Sox play 2 with the Jays. Coverage begins at 1 and 6:30 only on NESN.
Welcome back to Red Sox Digest, everybody. Joined by Tom Caron down on the field. Jim Corsi will be with us tonight on Extra Innings. Tommy, you know, the strategy in baseball isn't always about when to hit and run or when to steal or when to pinch hit. Sometimes it's about when to drop an appeal. Frank Castillo was suspended, but he drops the appeal. It's a strategic move because of the doubleheader.
Yeah, timing is everything. He just decided this in the last hour or so. As you know, he was suspended 5 games for that incident when he bumped the umpire, and it was a rare opportunity here because of the day-night doubleheader tomorrow that he could serve a 5-game suspension in 4 days and not miss a spot in the rotation. Now, we'd all like to have our day in court. We'd all like to clear our name, but sometimes you got to do what's best for the team. And just a little bit ago, Frank Castillo told me that indeed he has dropped that appeal in order to be able to make his next scheduled start in the rotation.
Basically, it came down to the 2 games tomorrow, the doubleheader, the count as 2 games. And then it allows me to pitch on my regular day, which would be Friday. So it was pretty much a no-brainer just to go out and pitch on my regular day or regular turn.
Second time around, you go this route. Is there part of you that sort of says, you know, you'd like your day in court, you'd like to sort of battle this a little bit?
Yeah, definitely, because, you know, in both cases, I feel like I got a raw deal, and I feel like I was totally in the right. But you know, when it comes to not missing a turn, you know, you just got to go ahead and swallow it, you know, and be able to pitch on your regular day. So, but like I said, otherwise, I feel strongly that I was definitely in the right. But as long as I pitch on my regular day and put it behind me, I think, you know, it'll work out.
Well, I think Castillo always does what's best for the team. Last time, Tommy, I thought it would have been nice to get the hearing, because I think he would have won that one. This one, I really don't think he was going to win anyway.
Although there was another incident, I forget the player. There was another player who did basically the same thing. I want to say it was A-Rod. He actually stepped on it.
Well, he's A-Rod.
There's no question that there's a 2-tiered system. I don't know, Frank. But it's funny now, of all the pitchers on this team, of all the players on this team, Frank Castillo maybe is the guy who has to live down this bad boy image all of a sudden. He's as quiet and humble a guy as you're going to meet in a Major League clubhouse, but he's had 2 suspensions. He's got to watch himself now.
But before the ball game tonight, we learned that the Toronto Blue Jays were in heated talks with the New York Yankees with outfielder Raul Mondesi. Again, we don't have official confirmation yet, but I think we know that it's a done deal. We saw JP Ricciardi. He was going to join us. He said he couldn't because he has the deal, Tommy. But you had a chance to talk to him as well.
Yeah, we were talking to him before all the riders gathered around, and he said no question that with the salary Mondesi is making right now, getting him off the team was as significant as adding prospects to this Toronto Blue Jays roster.
I like Monty. I mean, he plays hard. He wants to win. He doesn't cheat you at all. He's a fun guy to be around. But, you know, for the direction we're going, and when we're going to be a good club, and when we turn this thing around, he's not going to be here. So, you know, we have to look. This is total long range throughout the whole thing, and we're going to continue to have a long range approach to how we do things. You know, we're not trying to build for this year. We're trying to build for a couple of years down the road.
Well, Tommy, I don't know how significant of an addition this will be to the Yankees. It's going to depend on what kind of player shows up in the Bronx. But my question is, does this really force Mike Port's hand now to go ahead and swing a deal with someone else? Because when the Yankees are adding, you want to think the Red Sox will too.
Get that phone book out to Cleveland. Jim told me, where are you when we need you? I think there's no question. This could be a very long run to the trade deadline because the big shots came early this time around, and I think the other teams are going to scramble and follow, and the Red Sox certainly got to keep pace with the Yankees.
All right, we'll be talking more about that tonight on Extra Innings, but right now, a quick break on Red Sox Digest. We'll come back to wrap it all up here on NESN.
Turn me up. Come feel the joy all around. Each generation has found they've got their own kind of sound. So let it out. You've got your own kind of groove. Maybe you can't see it's your move. Gotta take that leap, you can't lose. So shout it out. Ba, 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 ba. It's that time, Pepsi. Oh, Pepsi. For those who think young.
You'll like all the things you can buy with Speed Pass. But if it's lost or stolen, you'll also like knowing you won't have to pay for any unauthorized purchases. Security is guaranteed. Call now for your free Speed Pass. Mobile. We're drivers too. The great thing about paying with Speed Pass is you never have to look for your wallet. To get your free Speed Pass, call now or go to speedpass.com. Mobile. We're drivers too.
Jeep vehicles are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 70 or 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus, choose Grand Cherokee and get a $2,500 cash allowance, or financing as low as 0%. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Welcome back to Red Sox Digest, everybody. Just about ready for baseball here at Fenway Park. The Red Sox saying goodbye to the National League, and yes, they are glad to see the Toronto Blue Jays in town. Trade rumors floating around Fenway Park in wild fashion. Don and Jerry will be talking about that and a lot more as we get ready for baseball. That is Red Sox Digest. Thanks for watching, everybody. And now stand by for Boston Red Sox baseball. It's the Red Sox and Blue Jays next on NESN.
We're a country that loves competition. If somebody starts mixing it up, we're there. You gotta love the idea of car and driver putting the top 4 pickups up against each other. We gotta love the fact that Dodge won. Yep, Dodge Ram is #1 over Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. When you're buying a pickup, you can't go wrong putting your money on the only pickup with 4 full-size doors and a full-size bed. Dodge Ram. Grab Dodge's 7/100 powertrain pledge plus $1,500 cash allowance or low financing. Ford, GM, and Toyota don't match this.
I appreciate your help.
No problem.
Thanks, Ben.
Sure. And call me anytime about that equity loan. Bye, Martha.
Bye.
Would you mind?
Oh, no, not at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, so you work at the grocery store, do you?
No, ma'am. I work at the bank in the grocery store.
Oh, that's nice.
So you couldn't find a space in the lot?
Oh, I don't have a car.
Closed captioning for Red Sox baseball on NESN is provided by Verizon, the Yawkey Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, and Aflac.
Live from Fenway Park in Boston, NESN presents exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball. Tonight, the Red Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Hi, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always joined by Jerry Remy, the first in a 5-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays for the Red Sox, who are certainly happy that interleague play is over for 2002. The Red Sox having a tough time, but glad to see American League teams back.
They were very happy last night to see the Atlanta Braves leave town and the National League, and hopefully not till October will they see the National League again. But the numbers were incredible. Only 5-13. Look at the team batting average of 218, 298 against American League teams. Runs per game just 3.5, almost 6 against the American League. The pitching just about the same. The pitching was outstanding. Did a great job against the National League, but they faced some very tough pitches, some very good teams, and I'm certain they're very happy tonight that Toronto Blue Jays are back in town and get another look at the American League again.
Well, the Red Sox will play Toronto a lot over the next 2 weeks. Tonight, Pedro Martinez tries to jump into double figures in terms of wins, coming in at 9-2 over the last 5 starts in June, 2-2. Career for Steve Parris of 0-1 in 5 games with a high earned run average. We're back with the starting lineups in the first pitch from Fenway after this.
A lot can be said about the fact we only use 100% pure beef in our burgers. Usually, a mouthful.
Cool, creamy, smooth, dreamy. Your dessert is waiting just around the corner at McDonald's.
Happen, pop the cork, finger snapping, spin the wheel, round and round we go. Life is good, life is sweet, grab yourself a front row seat. Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live, yeah, let's live for the wonder of it all. Meet me at Foxwoods. Foxwoods. Grab life during the National Minivan event. Whether you're a planter, a painter, or a parent, it's a great time to buy a Dodge Caravan. Now you get 7 years or 100,000 miles of engine and transmission protection, something you don't get from Ford, GM, Honda, or Toyota. And now until July 8th, Dodge gives you a $2,500 cash allowance or 0% financing, plus make no payments for 90 days. Hurry, these offers on America's best-selling minivan end July 8th.
Have a blast this summer with Coors Light and the Sox. Enter the Coors Light Silver Bullet Blast, and every time the Sox hit a home run on NESN, you can win a $50 gift certificate to an area restaurant. Every entry is also eligible for the grand prize, a trip for 2 to Camden Yards to catch the Sox take on the Baltimore Orioles. So send a postcard or enter online at NESN.com. And stay tuned. It's going to be a Silver Bullet Blast.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. By Miller Lite, life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And by Foxwoods Resort Casino, the wonder of it all in Southeast Connecticut. Call 1-800-PLAY-BIG. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to Fenway Park, the first in a 5-game series between the Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays, as the Red Sox are done with interleague play in 2002, and they welcome back an American League team tonight in the Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays have made a late change to their lineup. A lot of speculation about the trade of Raul Mondesi. Nothing yet has been announced and nothing has come over the wire, but Mondesi was in the original lineup that they have there, and the new lineup has gone up in the dugout. So Mondesi is not in that new lineup as we take a look at that starting lineup tonight. Shannon Stewart will lead it off. He'll be in left field. It is Eric Kinski batting second and third base. Mondesi is not in right field. Carlos Delgado, actually that is entirely different. Fletcher There we go. Hey, Shannon Stewart. Cruz will bat second. Hinsky at third base. Delgado bats fourth. He's the first baseman. Darren Fletcher does the catching. Vernon Wells in center. Pedro Swan just called up by the Blue Jays. Felipe Lopez is the shortstop. He bats eighth. And Dave Berg will bat ninth at second base. So that lineup does not have Mondesi in it now.
The defense tonight for the Red Sox, it'll be Shay Hillenbrand at third base, Nomar Garciaparra the shortstop, Carlos Baerga at second, and Tony Clark at first. Left to right, Manny Ramirez, Johnny Damon, and Trot Nixon. Jason Veritek behind the plate, and on the mound, Pedro Martinez. 9-2 on the season for Pedro. 3.07 ERA. That's fourth best in the American League. Pedro this year against Toronto has faced them twice. He's worked a total of 9 innings, given up 11 earned runs, and of course 7 of those coming in 3 innings in that first game here at Fenway, April 1st against the Blue Jays. Also worked up in Toronto on May 28th, a no decision in that ball game. So it's been a little hectic here prior to the game because of that late change in the lineup for the Blue Jays. All speculation is Raul Mondesi has been traded to the New York Yankees. We'll have to wait and see to get an official word on that.
Are they amazing in terms of picking up guys late in the season or not even here before the trade deadline? They needed an outfielder, and they may have gotten one, as again originally in the lineup for the new manager of the Toronto Blue Jays, Carlos Tosca. New England fans may remember Carlos. He spent 3 seasons as the manager of the Portland Sea Dogs in the Eastern League. Very successful minor league managers. Parts of 17 seasons as a minor league manager. Began this year as the third base coach, and of course after the firing of Buck Martinez, now the manager. Shannon Stewart skies the first pitch from Pedro to deep center. Back is Johnny Damon on the dirt of the track to bring it in.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's game notes brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. The Blue Jays 13-12 under their new manager. Blue Jays 96 home runs, third most in the American League, and the Red Sox 24-8 against the AL East this season, 9-5 here at home, where of course at home they've had quite a bit of trouble this year, only 18-19 overall.
Umpires Bill Miller behind the dish. Bill Hahn at first base. Larry Young at second, and Field and Culbreth at third base. There's Jose Cruz Jr., who we now believe to be in right field tonight, as he was originally slated for center field, but he's in right with Vernon Wells in center, we think. Right?
We'll find out when they take the field. We're doing this on the fly, Don.
It's pretty much.
It's like changing lines in hockey.
The 0-1 to Cruz. Well, we can tell you he's batting second. That much we know. Eric Hinsky waits on deck as Pedro getting the nod tonight. Pedro had the option of coming back on 6 days rest, which would have been tomorrow as part of the day-night doubleheader, but he opted to come back on 5 days rest. Red Sox hierarchy led by that man Grady Little, giving Pedro the option. The 1-2 misses away. And really all year, whenever the Red Sox could give Pedro the benefit of an extra day, they have gone that route, but not this time. The 2-2 to Cruz Jr. A little bit low. 3-2.
Mentioned Pedro, the 3.07 ERA, fourth best in the league behind Lowe, Colon. Well, Colon's gone now. He's in the National League. And Pinheiro of Seattle. 119 strikeouts, one behind Roger Clemens.
Payoff pitch in the air to center field. Again sent pretty deeply. Damon back again on the track and makes the catch up against the wall. Didn't have much more room in which to work with as he buckled back, got twisted around, but recovers and makes the catch up against the wall.
Well, that's 2 balls hit very hard. Stewart to center field, now Cruz to center field, and Johnny Damon with his back up against the padding to make the play. And don't forget, folks, still time to vote for Johnny Damon online. We understand that he's going to lead right now in that voting.
We're told he's ahead by 5,500 votes ahead of Jim Thome right now. You can vote on MajorLeague.com, MLB.com until 6 p.m. tomorrow. So a chance to send Johnny Damon to the All-Star game. He'd be the 6th member of the Red Sox. And certainly deservedly so. Foul back to the backstop. There's an announcement here in the press box, and I think that's along the lines of Raul Mondesi. We will have more details as they become available.
I think they've given the lineup.
I think they just mentioned that JP Ricciardi would be available in the press box, the general manager of the Blue Jays. Now they're giving the lineup.
Well, I wish JP would come in here and we could ask him next time he makes a trade to make it at least an hour before game time.
I think we should, yeah, so that it will not affect our scorecards, which are now a mess for those of us who score in pen. Check swing. He went around. Strike 3. Strikeout number 1 for Pedro. It's a 1-2-3 first. End of half an inning. The Blue Jays nothing. Red Sox coming up.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh. Just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Nissan 4x4. It's the next frontier.
You'll like all the things you can buy with Speed Pass. But if it's lost or stolen, you'll also like knowing you won't have to pay for any unauthorized purchases. Security is guaranteed. Call now for your free Speed Pass. Mobile. We're drivers too. The great thing about paying with Speed Pass is you never have to look for your wallet. To get your free Speed Pass, call now or go to speedpass.com. Mobile. We're drivers too.
Back at Fenway, the Blue Jays don't score in the top of the first. Red Sox coming to the plate in the last of the first. At the top of the order, Johnny Damon. Carlos Baerga bats second at second base. Nomar Garciaparra at shortstop. Manny Ramirez in left. Shay Hillenbrand, all-star game bound, bats fifth. Ryan Daubach, the DH. Jason Varitek doing the catching, batting seventh. Trot Nixon in right, who's been red hot. 341 over his last 12 games. Tony Clark in there at first base, bats ninth.
The defense for the Jays, they're 10th in the league. 57 errors on the season. Rookie Eric Hinsky will be at third base. Felipe Lopez, the shortstop. Dave Berg at second, and Carlos Delgado at first. Left to right, Shannon Stewart, Vernon Wells, and Jose Cruz. Darren Fletcher behind the plate, and on the mound, right-hander Steve Parris. His fourth start. He started the year on the disabled list. Had scope surgery on his shoulder last September. And now making his fourth start of the year. He starts against Montreal, Arizona, and Tampa Bay. Has a record of 0-1.
And Johnny takes it for the high strike, 0-2. Johnny Damon at 307, 5 homers and 38 runs batted in. Left side. Deep is short and through. Off the glove of Felipe Lopez coming from short. Damon with a wide turn at first, but he'll hold on. Well placed. And the Red Sox have their first base runner of the night. A base hit for Johnny Damon.
Yeah, Johnny only 3 for his last 23. A big high bounce up over the head of Eric Hinsky and past the glove of Felipe Lopez. Didn't matter if Lopez made that play. He's not going to throw Damon out at first base. So Johnny off to a good start. A couple of good plays in center field and the base hit to lead off the bottom of the first.
All right, we have the complete trade now. Raul Mondesi was traded for the Yankees for Scott Wiggins, a left-handed pitcher from Double-A Norwich. They're pitching for the Norwich Navigators. The Yankees apparently will assume Mondesi's contract for the rest of this year and next. So
who else was going to assume it?
Well, no, I mean sometimes sometimes the team has to pay for it when you send a guy away.
I understand.
The 0-1 will have to wait on Baerga. Check it first of Damon.
It would have been great if they went to the Yankees and Tampa Bay would have had to assume the contract.
Scott Wiggins is kind of an older prospect at 26 years of age. He is left-handed and was pitching in Double-A. This is chopped towards second base. Dave Berg will tag Damon. Has trouble getting it out of the glove, but still gets the job done. 4-3 on the double play, 2 down.
Not much Damon can do about that. I mean, he just runs right into the big high hop that ends in the glove of Dave Berg. You know, if you can anticipate that, you stop or you drop so he can't make the tag on you without having to reach down. But I think Damon believed he could beat that play, get by him. Instead, it turns into the double play.
So 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Nomar Garciaparra, one of an amazing 5 shortstops, will be heading to the All-Star game as it's fouled off by Nomar. And I'm glad to see that guys like Omar Vizquel and Tejada were not excluded. There are so many good shortstops, and if it is truly an All-Star game, then the All-Stars should go.
Now, the only thing that would bother me, if they were more deserving second baseman and third baseman, I'd say, well, you know, it's tough luck at shortstop. You pick 2 or 3 of them and you go with it and make sure those other guys get there. But it's really not the case this year.
And of course, Major League Baseball making it a mandate that every team needs to have 1 player go. And quite frankly, there are some teams that do not have an all-star type caliber player, as it's carved off the right side.
I don't like that either, where every team has to have one. I just don't, you know, if you don't have a good enough one, well, go get yourself a good one.
The 0-2 in the dirt outside. You can understand their perspective from the point of view that they'd like every city to be somewhat involved or care about the All-Star game. But I'm not sure they do. Pitch on the way to Nomar. In the air down the right field line towards the pole, and that'll make its way foul.
Parris last year was 4-6 in 19 starts for Toronto. We mentioned in September he had that surgery, and they said it'd be 6 to 12 months for recuperation.
Chopped left side, and on the backhand, Lopez a long throw onto the glove and off the glove of Delgado, who runs it down before it makes its way into the Red Sox dugout. And Omar will be on with the second hit of the inning for the Red Sox.
Been a strange inning for the Red Sox. A big high bouncing hit for Damon, then the big high bounce for the double play, and now Garciaparra, a ground ball in that hole between third and short. Fine play by Lopez, but not quite enough to get Garciaparra at first base. Nomar now with a 4-game hitting streak as his average continues to climb.
Now Manny Ramirez was 0 for 4 yesterday, and since coming off the DL, 4 for 19 at 211. He's driven in 2 runs since coming back. He fouls it off the right side. Apparently they found Manny Ramirez's earring that he lost in Syracuse. Actually lost it in one of the batting tunnels, as it turns out, not diving into third base. He lost it before the game, and it has been rescued. Although you got the impression Manny wasn't overly worried about getting another one. This is away, and it's 1-1.
Even with all the time missed by Ramirez, still voted in by the fans to play in the All-Star game.
The 1-1 will miss, and it's now 2-1. Did you get a chance to watch the selection program last night?
Don, I saw part of it. I didn't see the whole show. I mean, I already knew who was on the team anyway before that, because they made the announcements. Well, they did make the announcements here after the ball game yesterday, but everybody had to be hush hush about it until it came out on the show.
Now, did you tell anybody on the way to the car who might have asked you, or did you keep it?
Don, I absolutely told no family member. I kept it the secret, and it was hard to do.
I bet you Phoebe was peppering you for.
She called me on the cell phone, wanted to know right away. Did Konerko make it?
2-1 to Manny. Look out. Spins it out of the batter's box. 3-1. Fourth start of the season for Steve Parris after being activated from the 60-day DL. Ready with the 3-1. Ramirez grounds it to first. Delgado gobbles it up, tags the bag alone, and the Red Sox are gone. Pair of hits, but no runs. We've played one from Fenway, no score.
What's that? It's an old Tacoma. It can't be broken. Nah.
What makes Toyota Tacoma such a great value?
Need a hand?
No. I just wanted to remember where I was when I hit 200,000 miles.
Ask someone you know who drives one.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate your help.
No problem.
Thanks, Ben.
Sure. And call me anytime about that equity loan. Bye, Martha.
Bye.
Would you mind?
Oh, no, not at all.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, so you work at the grocery store, do you?
No, ma'am. I work at the bank. In the grocery store.
Oh, that's nice.
So you couldn't find a space in the lot?
Oh, I don't have a car.
It's Dirtball Mayhem. See metal crunch like cereal.
It's electrifying. It's extreme. It's rock boating.
So basically, it's two fat guys rolling cars. Hey, Jim?
Miles away from other light beers. Corona Light.
Back at Fenway, no score after one inning. Let's take a look at the RBI leaders around baseball, brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Paul Konerko yesterday named the All-Star team with 70. Alex Rodriguez also on the All-Star team, 65. Giambi's there. Nomar is there. Ordonez's not there. And Garrett Anderson, I believe, was picked. Or was he? Yeah, he was picked, yes. Lance Berkman, Sean Green, Todd Helton, Pat Burrell, and Larry Walker, the leaders in the National League.
On to the second inning as the Red Sox and Blue Jays have played a scoreless first. Carlos Delgado, one of the last men standing for the Toronto Blue Jays, and before it's all done, he may not be wearing that Toronto uniform. 255, 17 homers, and 59 runs batted in. As you are just joining us tonight, the Blue Jays have made a trade that certainly helps the New York Yankees. They have traded Raul Mondesi, who was in the original lineup tonight, for a Double-A pitcher in the Yankee system, Scott Wiggins, who was in Norwich, 26-year-old left-handed pitcher. Well, this year it had appeared in 22 games, was 2-1 with a 2.66 ERA, and will be coming to the Blue Jays organization. Mondesi takes care of what the Yankees felt was one of their holes this season. That's an outfield spot.
Well, in Mondesi, they get a guy that's got a low average, 224, but 15 home runs, 45 RBI, 9 steals, and a guy that's got a tremendous arm out there in the outfield.
Big shift on as they always do for Delgado. Baerga was set up perfectly, and there's one down. To me, the overriding factor here for the Blue Jays is that he makes $11 million a year.
Which is no problem in New York.
Right. And if he's surrounded by the hitters in the Yankees lineup, I think he will fare better than he does in the Blue Jays lineup.
And my guess is they're probably not done yet.
No. Here is Darren Fletcher, the catcher. 224, 3 homers, 22 runs batted in. Well, the Blue Jays had parted with their closer, Billy Koch, while Quantrill left. They had Plesac, the veteran pitcher that they had earlier in the year.
Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop a year ago, going to Chicago. Tough to be in those situations where you are a veteran player. You know that they're trying to rebuild, shed some money, and the uncertainty of not knowing whether you're going to be here, be somewhere else, is a little unsettling. And I imagine this probably didn't come as a major surprise to the members of the Blue Jays that they lost Mondesi, but yet when it does happen, and it happens so close to game time tonight, it certainly does have an effect.
Why is it, as Pedro goes into the line, the 2-2 is popped up, This will be on the left side, and Hillenbrand ranging in 2 strides to make the catch. 2 down. Why is it that the Cleveland Indians, Mark Shapiro and now JP Ricciardi, are making these trades so early before you get to that kind of trade time, the deadline time?
Seems like the price always goes up the closer you get to deadline time, right? Maybe you can make a better deal now than you can as it gets closer, and you have more teams involved sometimes when you get down to, you know, to the trading deadline.
Two down. Vernon Wells, who was not in the original lineup, is in there now after the trade of Raul Mondesi tonight. And he may see a lot more playing time here now for Toronto. Former first-round pick for the Blue Jays. And oftentimes, I guess you see as you get closer and closer to the deadline time that you sometimes don't get the value that you might get now, I would think.
More teams become involved. It's, you know, they may be chasing 2 or 3 different players instead of just that one.
Fouled off the right side. And it's now 2-1 to Vernon Wells. Pedro Martinez has retired the first 5 he's faced tonight. This is in the air to left, stroked pretty well. Manny Ramirez looking up, and that is off the top of the wall. Almost got out of here as Manny plays the ricochet quickly, but not before. Vernon Wells stands at second base with a wall ball double.
Pedro gave up 3 home runs in his last start against the Cleveland Indians. Almost a home run here for Vernon Wells, who was a late addition to the lineup. Right off the top of the wall, just staying in the ballpark, and Wells picks up his first hit ever against Pedro. Now 1 for 5 in his career. I get scared by guys like Wells on nights like this. You're not expected to play. All of a sudden you're in the lineup and you're not nervous, no pressure. You get like 4 or 5 hits in a game. You never know.
You have no time to think about it. Here's Pedro Swan, just called up from the Syracuse Sky Chiefs, the designated hitter tonight. And he takes the strike. Well, Blue Jays placing Chris Woodward on the disabled list after Sunday's game on the 15-day DL, and they bring up Pedro Swan. Tardy on that cut, and he's down 0-2. Woodward now on the DL for the Blue Jays. Had a strain in his right groin, and they have DL'd him. Pedro struck out Eric Hinsky to end the first. He'd like to end the second right here. Ready with the 0-2. That's a quick strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Pedro Martinez. The Blue Jays leave a man in scoring position. Inning and a half done from Fenway, no score.
Delicious Dunkin' Donuts Culotta. It's great on the go. A portion of Culotta sales will be donated to the Nomar 5 Fund, a charity supporting local kids organizations.
This summer, Lowe's is improving home improvement right in your backyard with the amazing new line of Jen Air grills, only at Lowe's. And Weber, Charbroil. In fact, you'll find a variety of brand name grills to match every taste, as well as the largest selection of patio furniture imaginable. And Lowe's promises low prices every day, guaranteed. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Come visit our newest Lowe's, now open in Woburn.
Jeep vehicles are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a $298 a month lease on Jeep Liberty. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. See your New England Jeep dealer.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. by New England Ford. Ford is leading the way with the best-selling cars and trucks. Log on to newenglandford.com for details. And by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy. Pedro Martinez giving up just the one hit through the first 2 innings. He struck out 2, and he's got a little life to that fastball tonight early.
Hey, he had a little anger behind that last strikeout. 96 miles an hour on that fastball on the outside corner to pick up the strikeout.
And the strike to Shay Hillenbrand leading it off. Hillenbrand down on the count, 1-2.
Kind of felt bad yesterday for Hillenbrand and the other members of the Red Sox who were named to the All-Star team. They had to be a little bit subdued because of losing the ball game yesterday, and because that's a moment for Shay Hillenbrand that he will never forget. Taking over third base for Cal Ripken. Voted in by the fans in only his second year in the big leagues.
Line by the outstretched glove of Carlos Delgado at first, and Hillenbrand aboard to begin things here in the second inning.
Nice job there by Hillenbrand, down a couple of strikes, and doesn't try to pull the ball, make contact, and hits it hard by the dive of Carlos Delgado. You can imagine that first time that Hillenbrand walks into that clubhouse in Milwaukee and looking around at all those American League All-Stars, and of course getting on the field and seeing the National League All-Stars. It's going to be quite a day for him.
There's got to be a big difference between just going to the All-Star game and being voted in as a starter, I would think also. And it is remarkable as Daubach takes a strike that of all the positions that Shay Hillenbrand played in his minor league career, third base, played the fewest numbers of games, was able to make the transition not only to the big leagues but playing at third base last year, now going as the starting third baseman. Brian Daubach, 246, 10 homers and 33 runs batted in. Continues to see more time regularly as we expected he might. Tonight not starting at first base but as the DH. Daubach hitting a solo home run yesterday as part of the comeback for the Red Sox and the eventual loss and the sweep by the Atlanta Braves over the weekend. And 2-1 from Parris on the ground. Berg tries to start it and ends it on a 4-6-3 double play, 2 down. Double plays in 2 innings for the Blue Jays.
Ball down and in on Daubach. 2 big high hops to the second baseman Berg. Look at Lopez make that pivot, jump out of the way of Hillenbrand and complete the double play. Red Sox fans waiting for the offense to explode.
Jason Varitek bats 7th tonight in the Boston order. 268, 6 homers and 28 runs batted in. Sends it through the right side on the ground. Equidistant between Dave Berg and Carlos Delgado on the right side, and that's 4 hits already tonight for the Red Sox.
Varitek extends his hitting streak now to 7 straight games on this base hit. It's a breaking ball. Delgado, because it was a breaking ball, was cheating and leaning toward the first base bag. But instead, the ball went to his right and found that hole between first and second. A lot of times, the first baseman and third baseman will get the signs from the second baseman and shortstop on what pitch is going to come. And that sometimes gives them a step to cheat one way or the other, depending on what the pitch is, fastball or breaking ball.
Two down. Varitek at first. Nixon, who has picked it up offensively as of late. Let's move the average up to 253. It was 2 for 4 yesterday with a home run, and on the homestand now 6 for 17 at 353. Fights it off, foul, 0-2. Red Sox, a very tough June, going 10-16. A lot of that against formidable opponents from the National League. Really provided some fine pitching. Red Sox, of course, being swept by Arizona, the Dodgers, and the Braves. Some tough series, and they face some very tough National League pitching. Breaking ball missing away. It's now 2-2 to Nixon. Steve Parris in his first year of the Toronto Blue Jays. Last year was 4-6 with a 4.60 ERA in 19 starts. And then, of course, finished the year on the DL. Nixon sends it off the glove of Dave Berg, second into right. Up to second base goes Veritek. And the Red Sox have 2 on with 2 down.
Red Sox are quite familiar with Parris. He faced him 5 times last season and had a record of 0-1 against the Red Sox. Line drive just over the glove, and the leap of Dave Berg at second base. It might have ticked the top of the glove. So the Red Sox having no problems getting hits here in the first couple of innings. Now they've got to convert them into runs.
Here's Tony Clark batting from the 9th spot tonight. He'll take some hard stuff up and in. Clark at 207 on the season, 2 homers and 20 runs batted in. Pinch hit and struck out in the 7th inning of yesterday's game. And a half swing there, but he did offer, and it's 1-1.
Tony Clark cut off all his hair, almost all his hair.
Got a new lid. He's trimmed it up. Maybe that's what it was going to take to get Tony going. We'll see as it misses away. 2-1. Two on, 2 outs. And he fights it off foul. Back to the backstop. Deuces are wild on the scoreboard at left. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Tony Clark wearing the number 22. How about that for 2's number 2? And I'm sitting next to Jerry Remy, who used to wear number 2. The 2-2 fouled off the left side.
Still 2-2. Ray Boggs used to call that the monkey claw. 2-2, 2 outs. I have no idea why, but
I was just going to ask you that.
He liked that. He liked to hit in that count.
Has to be one of the all-time great 2-strike hitters. The 2-2 up and away. Always marveled at how many pitches he would foul off with 2 strikes. Veritek at second, Nixon at first. Red Sox trying to get to the Toronto starter early in this one. The payoff pitch. Runners are off. It's chopped down the first baseline. He says a fair ball. Does Bill Hahn. Veritek will score. Nixon's going to try it. The throw from right is up the line. Nixon's in, and the Red Sox lead it 2-0. Got enough of the bag apparently to be a fair ball, and Tony Clark drives in a pair.
One thing is for certain, that first base umpire Hahn made the call very quickly and decisively, and there is no argument at all from the Blue Jays. Big high bounce right over the first base bag. It lands in foul territory, but that doesn't matter. It crossed that bag in fair territory, and the Red Sox pick up a couple of runs with 2 outs. Tony Clark with a clutch 2-out base hit.
So Tony stands at first. RBIs 21 and 22 on the season for Tony. Back up to the top of the order for Johnny Damon, who singled his first time up. Red Sox are already out hitting the Toronto Blue Jays 6-1. Damon may have broken his bat on that ground ball foul down by the tarp area. He'll get a new one.
Well, we are told that's Tony Clark's first 2 RBI games back on May 31st. And picks it up here at his first at bat, hitting out of the 9 spot in the batting order with a new haircut.
It's the lid. Parris ready with the 0-2. Damon grounds it right side to Dave Berg, who throws out Johnny Damon. But the Red Sox collect 2 runs in the bottom of the second inning. We played 2 from Fenway. 2-0 Boston. Here's a look at the lid.
Here's your light beer.
Miles away from other light beers. Corona Light.
You'll like all the things you can buy with Speed Pass. But if it's lost or stolen, you'll also like knowing you won't have to pay for any unauthorized purchases. Security is guaranteed. Call now for your free Speed Pass. Mobile. We're drivers too. The great thing about paying with Speed Pass is you never have to look for your wallet. To get your free Speed Pass, call now or go to speedpass.com. Mobile. We're drivers too.
Nissan 4x4. It's the next frontier.
Back at Fenway, 2-0 Red Sox. H.B. Hood is rooting for the Red Sox and kids throughout New England. Each time the Red Sox strike out an opponent, make a double play, or hit a home run at Fenway, Hood donates $100 to the Hood Home Team Advantage Fund. So far, more than $30,000 has been raised for children's hospitals all over New England.
Pedro Martinez staked to the 2-0 advantage. As we head to the visiting half of the third inning, Felipe Lopez, Dave Berg, and Shannon Stewart to face Pedro. And on the grass at third is Shay Hillenbrand. Lopez swinging away and fouls it off back by the 600 club below us. Lopez at 235, 8 home runs for the shortstop of the Blue Jays. Toronto finds themselves 15.5 games back of the Yankees in the AL East. They're 33-45. Of course, on their second manager, Carlos Tosca, after the firing of Buck Martinez. And the task becomes a little bit more tall as the Blue Jays send off some of their higher priced talent, as they have tonight in Mondesi.
Carlos Tosca becomes the 9th manager in Toronto Blue Jay club history, the 5th native Cuban to manage in the major leagues.
Pedro Martinez with his 3rd K of his outing, 1 in each inning so far for Pedro.
Batting 9, number 2, the second
curveball that time doing the honors for Pedro, so he's got 2 on the curveball and 1 on the fastball so far tonight in this ball game.
There's Dave Berg, the second baseman. Pedro operating that time at 91 miles per hour. Berg with 4 homers and a .237 batting average.
Those other Cuban-born managers, Mike Gonzalez of St. Louis, Preston Gomez, San Diego and Chicago, Tony Perez, of course, Cincinnati and Florida, and Cookie Rojas, who managed a short time with the California Angels.
And he was on the staff at one point this season as he resigned. Down the line, Clark heading over towards the stands, but that'll be back towards Canvas Alley. Ostasca managing a long time in the minor leagues, and as I mentioned earlier, he was the manager of the Portland Sea Dogs in the Eastern League and had very good success in New England. At the time was the Florida Marlins AA spot, still is, in Portland, Maine. Beautiful venue at Hadlock Field down near Portland's Old Port. Last year was the AAA manager of the Richmond Braves, the top farmhand for Atlanta. 1-1 fouled off, 1-2 the count.
Well, the Blue Jays and Red Sox are going to be seeing an awful lot of each other over the next few days. Day-night doubleheader tomorrow here at Fenway.
It's just off the outside edge if it was. 2-2. And it was. Gets in. Fourth strikeout for Pedro Martinez, third in a row, and there's 2 outs in the top of the 3rd inning.
Pedro with the changeup to pick up the strikeout, so he's got him on the fastball, curveball, and changeup now for his strikeouts in the early part of this ball game. He had 4 punch-outs on opening day in 3 innings against Toronto. He had 7 back at the end of May in that game up at Skydome.
Here's Shannon Stewart, who fly to the track his first time. Shannon, for whatever reason, has enjoyed very good success against Pedro Martinez in his career. 11 for 25 with a home run. You'd be hard-pressed to find other hitters anywhere who have had that kind of success against Pedro. But for whatever reason, Shannon Stewart has, as Pedro backs him off the plate. 1-1. Grounded back up the middle. Nomar with his outstretched glove can't get it. It finds its way into center field. There's the second hit of the night for the Blue Jays, and Shannon Stewart's 12th against Pedro Martinez.
Well, you saw the numbers, and sometimes you just can't figure it out. Pedro upset. Ground ball back up the middle for the base hit. The first time up, he took Damon back toward the wall on a ball that was hit very well. Only 3 steals this season for Shannon Stewart. He's had some hamstring problems on and off that have slowed him down.
Jose Cruz Jr. dropped down to the number 2 spot, leading off. He was 1 for 16. As Pedro misses away. Bruce sent it to the track his first time up. Johnny Damon was tested twice, the first 2 hitters of the game, sending it back to the track. And against Cruz, he had to back up into the wall to make the catch out there in center field. The Sox are 2 games back of the idle New York Yankees, who are off tonight. Just 3 games in the American League. This is in the air to left center field. Johnny Damon ranging over. He'll duck back onto the track to make the catch. So the Blue Jays leave a man in the top of the 3rd inning. We played 2.5 from Fenway. 2-0 Red Sox.
What do you call a room where everyone loves to gather? Where a color brightens your entire day? Benjamin Moore calls it mellow yellow. I call it inspired. To make it all come together, I went to my Benjamin Moore dealer for the best paint and the best advice. They've got the color preview studio display to find the perfect color, premium Benjamin Moore paint, and answers to all my questions. Now I have the quality I need and the color I want. What do you call that? I call it confidence.
Benjamin Moore. We make it simple, you make it beautiful.
From the producers of Independence Day and Godzilla, A species is mutating.
What the hell is going on?
Phones are dead.
A mystery is unfolding.
What exactly is it?
We're trapped.
Oh my God.
And an invasion is beginning.
Get back! You eight-legged freaks!
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, July 19th.
Nissan's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by your New England Chrysler dealers. Chrysler, drive equals love. Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Fenway as we embark on the bottom of the third inning. Red Sox on top 2-0. Carlos Baerga, Nomar Garciaparra, and Manny Ramirez scheduled to bat here in the bottom of the third inning. And there for a strike to Baerga. Bounced into a double play his first time. Toronto has 2 double plays through the first 2 innings as Carlos fouls it off. 0-2. We'd like to send happy birthday wishes along to Rupert Morrison in Westbrook, Maine, a Red Sox fan of many, many years. A very happy 88th birthday today. A lot of great Red Sox fans up in Maine. A 1-2 on the ground towards Felipe Lopez. The sidearm toss is high. Delgado goes up and gets it. And the putout of Baerga, 1 down.
No wonder if Baerga might have hurt himself going down that line. He slowed up toward the end of that run down to first base.
Number 5, the shortstop, Nomar Garcia.
Change up away. Baerga going down the line. Right there, he starts to slow up, almost like he pulls something.
Facial expression as well.
Yeah.
And Chang Lee, Chris Corrente, the training staff there. Line to right center. Nomar has got a 2-hit night already. And his first 2 at bats of the night. First one was single through the left side. The second one goes to right center. And for the Red Sox, hit number 7 of the night.
Early in the season, Nomar swinging at the first pitch. The average was pretty low for him, which was unusual. That has certainly picked up recently. That home run he hit here yesterday was on the first pitch. 2 hits here tonight.
One out, one on. Manny Ramirez grounded out to first base his first time up. And he grounds it through the left side. Back-to-back hits for the 3-4 hitters in the Red Sox lineup. 2 on with 1 down.
Ramirez in his career against Parris now is 2 for 19. One of those hits a home run, the other this single.
Number 29.
Ramirez seems to be getting more comfortable with every at bat. Noticed that over the weekend.
Here's Shay Hillenbrand, who singled to right field his first time up. Red Sox have had base runners in every inning so far. This is grounded left side. Lopez from deep short to second for 1. Tough getting it out of the glove for Dave Berg at second base. And down the line quickly was Hillenbrand. So they record the out on the middle man and Manny Ramirez. Runners at the corners now with 2 outs in the inning.
That's a tough double play for those middle infielders to turn when the shortstop has to go that far to his right. And you'll see here on the transfer a little bit of trouble getting control of the baseball for Berg. Right there, double clutch, and that's going to be the difference at first base.
Number 23.
Hillenbrand hustling all the way to beat it out and keep the inning alive. Almost like he couldn't get a good grip on the baseball when taking it out of the glove.
Omar at third, Hillenbrand at first. Daubach bounced into a double play his first time. Against Steve Parris, 6 for 16. Double, triple, and 2 home runs. Opposite field, but foul down by the grandstand area when the box is jet out. 0-2 to Daubach. A 5-game series against the Toronto Blue Jays. It opens up tonight. We'll have both ends of the doubleheader here tomorrow. A day-night doubleheader. The Red Sox will feature Tim Wakefield and Sonny Kim. Strikeout for Parris. Kind of a rabbit punch swing from Brian Daubach to conclude the third. Through 3 from Fenway, 2-0 Boston.
Japan, land of the rising sun and the sinking fastball. America's pastime rules in Japan, and Nesson gets you a front row seat with Diamonds in the Far East, baseball in Japan. Discover a passion for baseball that's out of this world, or at least on the other side of it. Diamonds in the Far East, baseball in Japan. A 1-hour front row special premiering Sunday, July 7th at 9 on Nesson. Have you heard the news? Globe sports writers are a hit on the Red Sox pregame show. Tune in 1/2 hour before game time on Nesson for Red Sox Digest. Join studio host Bob Rogers, former Sox pitcher Jim Corsi, and field reporter Tom Caron as they preview the game and deliver live reports from the field, featuring the insights and game day analysis from the award-winning sports writers of the Boston Globe. Read them today. Watch them tonight. Pregame on Nesson. It's 4 half-hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, your host for Nesson Outdoors. Brought to you by Obashan Hardware. Nesson Outdoors features a weekly lineup of New England outdoor programming. Voting today for whatever floats your boat. Divers Down, exploring New England's underwater world. And then back-to-back episodes featuring the mad fisherman himself in Charlie Moore Outdoors. So tune in and get out each week on Nesson.
Nesson's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Heineken. It's all about the beer, Heineken. By Applebee's, Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar. Eating good in the neighborhood Applebee's. And by Volvo, the official vehicle of the Red Sox. Through 3, the Red Sox on top 2-0. We mentioned that Carlos Baerga appeared to come up lame running down the first base line, and he has left the game. Lou Merlone on defensively for the Red Sox at second base. Trying to get a report on Carlos. Here's the rookie Eric Hinske, who struck out his first time. You may remember that on opening day, Eric Hinske got his first major league hit off the man on the mound tonight, Pedro Martinez. Part of the Toronto victory here on opening day against the Red Sox. It's a piece of Varitek, and it's 1-2.
He leads all American League rookies in home runs, RBI. Coming over from the Oakland organization.
Came over from Oakland along with Justin Miller in exchange for Billy Koch. And he has paid instant dividends for the Blue Jays in their lineup all season. He singled off Pedro Martinez in his second at bat for his first major league hit. Back on April 1st here at Fenway Park. Strike 3. He doesn't like it, but he'll take with him the 5th K of the night for Pedro Martinez. Second time he's down by way of the K.
67th time this season. Fastball, nasty pitch. I don't know what Hinske is complaining about.
Number 25.
Had part of the corner and certainly high enough. This Blue Jay team is 13th in the league in strikeouts. Only team to strike out more are the New York Yankees, but the Yankees are first in the league in on-base percentage.
Well, the Red Sox to begin the day in terms of batting average now 4th in the American League at 277. You might think the Mariners or the Yankees might be on top. It's not the case. The Anaheim Angels leading the American League at 281 as a club. Playing very deeply in right is Nixon. That'll fall for a base hit. Does really have to for big Carlos Delgado, but it falls in for a 1-out single. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. What two Red Sox players played in the All-Star game when it was in Milwaukee in 1975? And of course, it'll be at Miller Park again this year for the 3rd time in the history of the All-Star game. We'll have the answer for you in the next half inning.
I wonder if they were both rookies that year.
I would bet they were. Each ball has come onto the field. In the right field corner, they've disposed of it. Here's Darren Fletcher, the catcher, fly to left his first time. And therefore the strike to Fletcher. The Red Sox and Blue Jays, as the Red Sox do with all of the division, they'll play 19 times. 9 games at Sky Dome, 10 here at Fenway. The Blue Jays are just 1-5 against the Red Sox and 0-5 at Sky Dome. The one win they have was on opening day here against the Red Sox. Strike 2. Pedro working that outside corner, ahead 0-2.
Now you've got the 5 games in this series, and then after the All-Star break, the Red Sox open up in Toronto with a 4-game series against the Blue Jays.
The doubleheader tomorrow is a result of the April 3rd postponed date, the game in which they started. The 0-2 misses away, and that night has great significance for a member of the Red Sox who is still, I think, positioned near the top of the dugout. You may remember that gentleman pitched in that game, went 2 innings, and then had to leave, as did the Red Sox when the rains came. And the groin pull on that April 3rd date, and we've not seen Dustin since. But we may see him right after the All-Star break back with the Red Sox. As he worked out today in the Boston bullpen for Tony Cloninger and Grady Little. And he said he's ready to go tonight. But that is wishful thinking on his part. Grady Little said he would throw a simulated game towards the end of the week. Maybe a rehab stint or 2 from the bullpen. And then likely return in the Boston bullpen. They'd like to have back in the rotation at some point, but depends what the situation is when he returns. Lined into left field for a base hit. Ramirez ranges over. Up to second base goes Delgado on the base hit by Darren Fletcher.
Because Darren Fletcher at one time caught Pedro Martinez up in Montreal, and he's had pretty good success against Pedro. 273 coming into the game. 1 for 2 here tonight.
Number 10, the center fielder, Vernon Wells.
Here's Vernon Wells, who doubled off the top of the wall in left field. Very nearly homered, did not miss by much. Delgado at second, Fletcher at first, as Pedro starts off ahead. Martinez has surrendered 4 hits so far in 3 1/3 innings. This is chopped down up into the crowd above the photographer well. Vernon Wells at one point really flying through the Toronto organization. It was 1999 that he saw action at 4 levels. Former first-round pick of the Toronto Blue Jays. Pops it up foul off the right side. That'll get back and out of play.
Pedro there missing his spot. Veritek was up out of his crouch. He wanted to go with a high excuse me, a high fastball. Instead, that ball was out over the plate. Look at Veritek set up high. He wants to go upstairs. Instead, that ball's down and away, and Wells able to foul it off.
As I mentioned, Wells, a first-round pick. He was 5th overall in 1997. 1999, he saw time at single A, double A, triple A in the major leagues, all in the same season. 4 different levels. He's now in his 4th season with the Blue Jays. That time he went up top, 1-2. Most games he's played in Toronto was 30 coming into this season. And Vernon Wells tonight appears in his 77th game, so the longest stint for him in the majors as he strikes out. 6th strikeout for Pedro Martinez, 2 down in the 4th inning.
Pedro's got good stuff in this game tonight. A little bit more life on his fastball. We've had him as high as 95. The good curveball here to pick up the strikeout, and also the changeup. So all 3 pitches working for him tonight in this ball game. I think he's only thrown maybe 1 or 2 cut fastballs so far.
Here's Pedro Swan, who struck out looking his first time. Just called up from the Syracuse Sky Chiefs, where he was hitting at .281. Signed as a 6-year minor league free agent during the offseason this past season. Played for Carlos Tosca in Richmond last year. He had a very good season. Spent time in the Tigers organization, as well as the Braves, originally drafted by Atlanta. Fouled off, gets a piece of Veritek, 1-1. Fourth inning, Red Sox on top 2-0. Swan hits it hard, backhanded, snared by Clark. He'll use Pedro as he leads into the bag. Swan's gone, so are the Blue Jays in the top of the 4th. We're through 3.5 from comfortable Fenway with the Red Sox on top 2-0.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh. Just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You're sitting on my biscuits, Clyde. There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work. The bench on the right is being painted with Krylon. The bench on the left with Rust-Oleum. After just 12 minutes, Krylon is dry to the touch. Rust-Oleum, well, gee. Oh, not good. Oh boy. For a smooth, professional finish, fast-drying Krylon performs like no other. Krylon. No runs, no drips, no errors.
Don Orsillo and Jerry Remy back at Fenway Park, where the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead as a result of a base hit by the number 9 hitter Tony Clark. With 2 on, Tony just up over the bag at first base. Who would score 2? Veritek and Nixon each in as the Red Sox lead it 2-0. Steve Parris, 3 innings, has given up 8 hits and the 2 runs. Pedro Martinez, 4 shutout innings, 6 Ks in the game. And Jason Veritek now has an 8-game hitting streak as a result of his single in the 2nd inning. Has to feel good for Tony Clark, who drives in a pair with his base hit. Jason Veritek to lead it off. The bottom 3rd of the Boston order. We'll see Tony bat third in the inning. What were your impressions of some of the NL teams the Red Sox face? Pretty good.
Very impressed on with the Dodgers, especially with the Atlanta Braves. That bullpen for the Braves was really something. Sheffield starting to get hot for them. Arizona, obviously a very good ball club.
Do you agree that it appears the pitching may be better in the National League?
Certainly in the group that we saw.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the rest of the league is like, but in the particular group that the Red Sox had to look at in interleague play was very good pitching.
Here's the first walk of the night given up by Steve Parris. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question from last inning. What two Red Sox players, or I should say, what two Red Sox players played in the All-Star game in Milwaukee in 1975? Yastrzemski and Lynn. So it was not two rookies, as it turns out. Yaz and Lynn, one rookie. Nixon singled to right his first time. Take strike one.
Why did Rice not make that team?
I was just wondering that. I don't know. Was he better in the second half than he was the first? I'd have to really turn it on.
Wow.
Infield a double play depth for the Jays with nobody out. We should tell you also that just before the game started, the Red Sox announced that Frank Castillo had dropped his appeal. He will now serve his suspension beginning tonight. The 1-1 is popped up left side of the Toronto infield. Felipe Lopez ranging over right at the bag, makes the catch.
Well, it makes sense for Castillo obviously to drop the appeal. He'll miss 2 games. Game tonight obviously, then 2 tomorrow. So he'll pitch on turn over the weekend.
The one thing that Grady Little brought up, and everybody says, why don't you just do it? And I think Frank was a little hesitant. The fine is somewhat hefty. And depending upon how much you make, and of course there are big differences in that area in the Red Sox clubhouse, the fines can be quite costly. And certainly he felt that he was right and probably would like to have worked that fine down a little bit.
I think he'd just like a chance to explain to them that it was not intentional to step on him. You know, he charged over there obviously to argue. And it was an accident that he did step on the umpire. But you can't make contact, and you know, I'm sure the suspension probably would have held up, maybe get a game knocked off, although I doubt it. But certainly the fine is something they would have to deal with. So bad guy Frank Castillo, who twice this year of all the people, the most mild-mannered guy probably in the clubhouse, suspended twice by the American League. Remember Ilya Nastasi, the tennis player many years ago?
Yes. It's temperamental. The 2-1 in the dirt was John McEnroe was also a little temperamental.
Yeah. Now Frank does not have that kind of personality.
Tony Clark batting with 1 out. Jason Varitek at first. Red Sox trying to add to their 2-0 advantage here in the bottom of the 4th inning. In the air to left, struck pretty well. Stewart back, looking up. It's a wall ball. Kicks off. Varitek is headed for third and stopped there. Up to second base goes Tony Clark with his second hit of the night.
That's an ill-advised throw out there in left field. That ball should have been coming back in towards second base because it would have kept a double play in order. Tony Clark going to the opposite field this time, playing wall ball here at Fenway Park. He had actually stopped as he rounded first, and then when he saw that throw from Shannon Stewart go back in toward third base, that's when he advanced to second. Shannon had no chance at all at third base. Should have went into second and keep the double play in order. Now they're going to have to intentionally walk Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon intentionally walked here. Load the bases for Lou Merlone. You'll be batting for the first time.
But while they're walking Damon, this would be a great chance at home to run to that computer and put in a vote
for Johnny Damon. You can do so until 6 o'clock tomorrow night on MLB.com to send that man to the All-Star game. He's up against Jim Thome, among others, who right now stand off the All-Star team.
Only go and vote if you think Johnny deserves to be there.
And you, Jerry Remy, think he deserves to be there?
Yes, I do.
I think he does too. And he's never been before, which I found somewhat surprising, you know, being with the Kansas City Royals and Oakland A's and the fine career that he's had.
Number 26, the second baseman, Lou Merlone.
Bases loaded for Lou Merlone, who came on after Carlos Baerga grounded out last inning and appeared to come up lame running down the first base line, left the game. And Lou took over at second base in the top half of this inning. Bases loaded, one out. In there for the strike to Lou. Think if Tony Clark could double on that, do we know?
Probably it should be a single and then went to second on the throw, but I'm not sure how they rule that, because he did stop.
I'm going to send my guy Justin Duran to find out. This is up top, and the count is 1-1. Red Sox on top 2-0. Merlone grounds it on the backhand. Lopez, great play in the dirt for an out there. On to first, he's safe. In the back door from third comes Veritek with the third Boston run.
This combination of Lopez and Burrick almost turned this double play to get out of the inning. Look how far Lopez has to go. The jump throw to second base on one hop, and they just barely missed getting the double play. That's a heck of a play by that combination. Burrick had to play it on one hop and still get a throw off to first base. Red Sox get another run out of it, lead it 3-0.
Here's Nomar's 2 for 2, and a haphazard swing he did offer. They did award, if you are scoring along at home, Tony Clark a double. So he's got 2 hits tonight, a single and a double. Nomar's got 2 hits and 24 2-out RBIs to lead the Red Sox in that department. Clark at third, Merlone at first, 2 down. The 0-1 in there for a strike. Toronto downsizing on their payroll. If you're just joining us tonight, Raul Mondesi traded away to the New York Yankees. Trade that involved a left-handed double-A pitcher, Scott Wiggins. And we hope to have JP Ricciardi on with us tonight. The Worcester native and general manager of these Toronto Blue Jays. The 0-2. Omar sends it in the air to right. Cruz has it sized up, and he'll make the catch to end the inning. Red Sox had a run to their total. We've played 4 tonight from Fenway. 3-0 Boston.
Polyunsaturated.
P-O.
Gingivitis.
G.
Pungent.
P-U-N-G.
Halitosis.
A.
Hyperventilate.
V-I-H-Y-U-T-I-N-N-T-D.
Sweet dreams.
S-W-E.
There's a better way to get to Washington, D.C.
Fly to Baltimore Washington International on Southwest.
Some forests are national parks. Some forests are nature preserves. This forest is a water fountain. Poland Spring natural spring water comes from protected springs deep in the woods of Maine. It's why Poland Spring just may be the best tasting water on earth. Poland Spring, what it means to be from Maine.
This is a donut. You should always have one of these in the trunk of your car. If you get a flat tire, you simply replace it with the donut. In this case, strawberry frosted with chippies. And drive to Sullivan Tire. My mom just got a whole set of tires, so she shouldn't be needing this for a while.
For quality Goodyear tires and certified auto service, come into Sullivan Tire.
Don't procrastinate.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, so you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Well, the Red Sox add a run to their total. Pedro Martinez now working with a 3-run advantage. On to the top of the 5th inning. And Felipe Lopez to lead it off, take strike 1. Lopez struck out looking in the 3rd inning, one of 6 strikeouts for Pedro so far. As he entertains any thoughts of bunting. And on the grass at 3rd is Shay Hillenbrand. Popped up foul. And above us, which is hard to do.
See Burns at behind home plate, kind of pointing up to the sky. He's reminding his infielders to help the outfielders out on locating the baseball. You're at that twilight time right now, and very difficult if you take the eye off the baseball to pick it up again.
Strikeout number 7 for Pedro. Up and away it was. Lopez went lunging, and he strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Let's check in with Tom Karen, TC.
Thank you very much. Clayton Turnbull is with me. He's on the board for Black and White Boston coming together. They're having their night here at Fenway. Clayton, first of all, talk about Black and White coming together, Black and White Boston. What is it?
Great organization, Black and White Boston, where we've put an organization together running about 11 years now, where we're bringing all the majority business and the black businesses together to build relationships so that they can do more business together and prosper.
And that's what's happening here at Fenway. Companies have donated their corporate boxes. What's going on here?
That's right. Majority companies donate their corporate boxes. All the black businesses and majority business are sitting together, having a good time year after year, getting to know each other well and pass business cards and make things happen. It's about economic development.
It's all good. They even invited me up to the corporate box, so you can't beat that, Clayton. Thanks. Let's go back to Don and Jerry.
All right, Tom. 1 out. Dave Berg is the hitter, and the count is 1-2. That's how TC judges events, whether or not he's invited or not. Fouled off the right side. It's 1-2. Pedro Martinez with 7 Ks in the game tonight. This is line to left, and that'll fall for a base hit. And he plays it on a hop. Dave Berg, the number 9 hitter, has the 5th Toronto hit of the night.
Got a Pedro fastball on the inside part of the plate and able to clean it out. Just the hands inside, pulls the ball, hits it out in front. 24 start tonight at second base for Dave Berg. He's made a couple at shortstop. He's made 12 at third base and 8 as the designated hitter.
Here's Shannon Stewart, 1 for 2. Wide to the track for his only out in center field. Out after the first pitch. Shannon Stewart, 28 years of age. Parts of 8 seasons now with Toronto in the big leagues. Blue Jays first-round pick back in 1992. A long time also with the Syracuse Sky Chiefs at AAA. One. Rounds it into the Toronto dugout. Look out. That got in there in a hurry. Scattered a few folks down there. Dave Berg at first, 1 out. Top of the 5th inning. Pedro's got 7 Ks in his outing tonight. Sends Stewart darting out of the box, 2-2.
Once we mentioned how well Stewart hits Pedro, he's also one of the toughest guys in the league to strike out. Only 21 strikeouts this season. 3 guys in the top 10 in that category: Stewart, Garcia, Parra, and Damon, all in this ball game tonight.
The 2-2. Foul tipped into the catcher's mitt, strike 3. Strikeout number 8 for Martinez, 2 down.
Took a nasty curveball to pick up the strikeout. A foul tip by Stewart, but right into the glove of Jason Varitek.
And as a result, here are the updated numbers. Pedro Martinez leading the pace with 127. Roger second at 120, and Freddie Garcia, final Mariner starter, third.
Pedro's strikeout high is 12. He had 11 2 starts ago against San Diego and 9 in his last start against Cleveland.
Struck out the first 5 that he faced in that game against San Diego that you alluded to. Well, here is Jose Cruz Jr., who's done the same thing twice. That's fly to the warning track on 2 occasions. And he's in the hole, 0-2. Fenway faithful smell strikeout number 9 as Pedro's jumped ahead 0-2. Park holds on Dave Berg at first. And the 0-2. He struck him out. Strikeout number 9 for Pedro Martinez concludes the top of the 5th. We're halfway through this one. Red Sox lead at 3-0.
During each Wednesday edition of NESN's pregame show, join renowned orthopedic surgeon and Red Sox team physician Dr. Bill Morgan for the Sports Health Update, presented by St. Elizabeth's Medical Center. So stay tuned, because we got a doctor on digest.
You ask me if there will come a time when I grow tired.
The bench on the right is being painted with Krylon. The bench on the left with Rust-Oleum. After just 12 minutes, Krylon is dry to the touch. Rust-Oleum, well, gee. Oh, not good. Oh boy. For a smooth, professional finish, fast-drying Krylon performs like no other. Krylon, no runs, no drips, no errors.
We call it Slugfest for a reason. MLB Slugfest 2003 rated everyone who said baseball isn't a contact sport.
3-0 Red Sox. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The 2002 Bay State Summer Games will kick off with an Olympic-style opening ceremony on July 11th at City Hall Plaza at 7:30. Registration is still open for some sports, so sign up today. For information, call 781-932-6555 or visit baystategames.org. All-Star Game 30th man ballot. Something new this year. You see the check next to Johnny Damon. If chosen by internet, I will not go.
You're not going to go?
No, I want the 3 days off.
Here's Manny, 1 for 2 tonight. You get your knees together for one game, couldn't you?
You mean to play?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just what I like to do. Go face Randy Johnson in the middle of the summer. I think I'll pass. Bad back.
1-1 to Manny. Hold on. Well, the many times that I've been in the health club on the road, many times that I've worked out, I've seen you run, and you still can run. All these knee surgeries.
Yeah, that's not a problem. But the problem would be making contact. Nobody in your prime didn't want to face Randy Johnson. Can you imagine at my advanced age now trying to make contact?
You're not that advanced. 1-2 fouled off to the right.
Well, let's put it this way. Well removed from being able to play.
I think you're in terrific shape.
That's not the point, though.
But I still think you could make contact.
Not against Randy Johnson, no.
Catcher Darren Fletcher out to talk to Steve Parris with the count of 1-2. And Parris has had base runners around him in every inning so far as we work here into the bottom of the 5th inning. Red Sox have left 5 men on. Deals with Ramirez, Hillenbrand, and Daubach in the inning. 1-2. Manny strikes out. There's the second K of the night for Steve Parris. 1 down here in the bottom of the 5th.
A little bit of a hanger that time, too, from Parris, but Ramirez no contact.
Number 29.
Parris very fortunate that Manny didn't make contact on that pitch.
.79 pitches for the starter tonight, Steve Parris. Shay Hillenbrand 1 for 2. Red Sox out hitting Toronto 9-5. Shay pops it up. The pitcher calling. Parris will take it himself, and there's 2 down.
We saw Randy Pettit last night in the Yankee game against the Mets make a catch, and why not? Parris had the best shot at it, called off the rest of the infielders, and made the play. They can catch pop-ups.
Number 23.
Now I was thinking Shay Hillenbrand making the All-Star team. The game is in Milwaukee, and of course he's never been to Milwaukee, right? He joined the Red Sox last year.
He went in spring training last year.
Oh, so he has experienced the fine living conditions at the Vista Hotel.
Yes, he did. He was with us last year for the last game of spring training, which was the second game ever played at Miller Park. Yeah.
I wonder if they'll have a big party upstairs at the Blue. That's the name of the restaurant lounge at the top of the beautiful Vista Hotel in Milwaukee. Blue.
Jonathan Lopez backed up on it, sets in, makes the hard, accurate throw to throw out Daubach. Well, it's the first 1-2-3 inning of Steve Parris' outing. We played 5 with the Red Sox on top 3-0.
For the producers of Independence Day and Godzilla, a species is mutating. What the hell is going on?
Phones are dead.
A mystery is unfolding.
What exactly is it?
The trap.
Oh my God.
And an invasion is beginning.
Get back! You ain't like it!
Rated PG-13 starts Friday, July 19th.
You'll like all the things you can buy with Speed Pass. But if it's lost or stolen, you'll also like knowing you won't have to pay for any unauthorized purchases. Security is guaranteed. Call now for your free Speed Pass. Mobile. We're drivers too. The great thing about paying with Speed Pass is you never have to look for your wallet. To get your free Speed Pass, call now or go to speedpass.com. Mobile. We're drivers too.
Come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on. Come on, let me show you. Oh, come on. Come on, let me show you where it's at. I said the name of the place is I like it like that. Come on. Come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on. Let me show you where it's at. Oh, I wanna show you. Let me show you where it's at. The name of the place is I like it like.
5 complete from Fenway. The Red Sox have the 3-0 lead. Let's take a look at the stolen base leaders around baseball, brought to you by Mobile Speed Pass. Soriano has taken the lead with 23 over Ichiro at Lofton. Louis Castillo of Florida with 26. Juan Pierre with 24. And Alex Sanchez 19. And familiar names, they've been there for a while at the top of the league in both leagues.
On to the 6th inning for Pedro. Has thrown 81 pitches through the first 5. Struck out the side last inning with a hit mixed in. Has 9 Ks on the night. He has struck out the man at the plate on 2 different occasions tonight. Eric Hinsky, once in the first and again in the 4th. He was most upset last time as he struck out looking in the 4th inning. And words for Bill Miller as he get back to the dugout. And he's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Former Red Sox pitcher Tom Gordon expected to be activated from the DL tomorrow. Flashback with the Cubs. This is grounded outside of first. Carl Everett refused rehab assignment and will be activated from the DL.
Carl's been on the DL twice, I think, so far this season. Knee earlier in the year, and then he had an ankle problem, or
I don't know. Is it the same knee?
Not sure.
Not sure. It's not been a great year for Carl in his first year away from the Red Sox. 0-2 popped up foul and out of play. Struck out Hinsky twice already tonight. The 0-2 pitch. Make it 3 times. The trifecta for Eric Hinsky. That's strikeout number 10 for Pedro Martinez.
Very good curveball tonight by Pedro. You know, a lot of people have talked about Pedro and say, well, it's the curveball has him in a changeup. That's really not the case. In most of the games, it's been the lack of velocity or the lack of the 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Tonight, he has the combination of all of them. He's turning the fastball over at times around 89, 90. When he needs a little extra zip on it, he's got it. He had a great curveball tonight and also a very good changeup.
Carlos Delgado 1 for 2. Single to right his last time up. And you have to wonder with Raul Mondesi being moved by the Blue Jays whether Carlos Delgado will end up somewhere else by the end of the year. The trade deadline looming at the end of this month.
Well, that's right. Today is July 1st, isn't it? Tolls went up on the Mass Pike today.
He makes $19 million, does Carlos. And we mentioned that Raul Mondesi at 11. And certainly Toronto looking to move down the chart in terms of payroll. The question is, who will take Carlos and where will he end up if he does go? But you have to imagine the Blue Jays do not want to hold on to that kind of salary. And it does appear that Toronto may be headed in the way that maybe Oakland did a few years ago. Some young players. JP Ricciardi was a part of that Oakland regime that did that. Billy Beane. And JP was the assistant general manager. And they went with a smaller payroll and tried to collect as many young players as they could. And Oakland's been successful. Again, we do hope to have JP Ricciardi with us for the game. Hometown boy from Worcester, Massachusetts. The 2-2 to Delgado. 3 to Carlos Delgado. 11 Ks for Pedro Martinez and 4 in a row. He's got it going on right now.
Well, you know, there's something else going on with Pedro here. He has been roughed up a little bit by the Blue Jays in his 2 starts this season, and especially on opening day. And Pedro with a little bit extra motivation, it looks like, tonight against this Blue Jay ball club. Once again, the curveball doing the honors.
Here's Darren Fletcher, 1 for 2 tonight, a single. Sends it in the air down the left field line towards the corner. And he ranges over and will make the catch in fair ground. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning for Pedro Martinez. On to the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Boston.
Delicious Dunkin' Donuts Coolada. It's great on the go. A portion of Coolada sales will be donated to the Nomar 5 Fund, a charity supporting local kids organizations.
I got that money. You like when Daddy helped me?
Well, that stinks. Yeah, I really liked her. Yeah, she seemed like a lovely girl. Looks like you could use a refreshing Mike's Hard Lemonade. You're on.
A hard day calls for a hard lemonade. Make it Mike's.
I take batting practice. I take infield practice. I take Viagra. Ready to try Viagra for the first time? Ask your doctor if a free sample's right for you and visit Viagra.com for more information. Step up to the plate and make an appointment to see your doctor.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Corona. Relax and enjoy an ice cold Corona Extra. And by your New England Jeep dealer. Jeep, there's only one. Pedro Martinez has struck out 11 Blue Jays tonight. A 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. He's thrown 92 pitches and has thrown shutout baseball tonight, giving up 5 hits so far to Toronto. He has not yet walked a Blue Jays batter. And he sits with the jacket on. Bottom third of the Red Sox order to face Steve Parris as we head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Veritek, Nixon, and Clark. This is lined and snared at first by Carlos Delgado. Had to elevate to make the catch, but he makes the catch for out number 1.
We told you earlier how sometimes infielders, the first baseman will cheat depending on the pitch. It's a breaking ball this time to Veritek, and Delgado already has stepped in this direction, and that helps him make the play.
The right fielder.
Thompson takes extra bases away from Veritek.
One down now, 6 in a row, retired by Steve Parris. Nixon is 1 for 2 tonight. Now 2-0 to Nixon with Tony Clark waiting on deck. Tony's 2 for 2 tonight with a couple of RBIs. Batting in the number 9 spot has been productive tonight. In the air down the left field line. Big foul back into the seats, out of play. 2-2 now to Nixon. Tomorrow, Tim Wakefield will go in game 1 for the Red Sox. Sonny Kim going in the nightcap as part of the day-night doubleheader. Two missing away. It's a full count. The Blue Jays have announced that New Hampshire native and right-hander Chris Carpenter goes in the day game. They have not announced who will go in the night game. Nixon sends it down towards the pole and right, and that is a foul ball.
Almost hit the cotton candy.
We'll see the return of Sonny Kim tomorrow in a different capacity. He's been used this year out of the Boston bullpen in his first couple of stints. This one sent down the left field line and will land in fair ground. Gets away from Stewart, very nonchalantly moved over. Not much foul ground down there, and ends up in fair ground, and Nixon ends up with a double.
Now Shannon Stewart slowed up like he was sure this ball was going to be foul. Watch him just put on the brakes right here. And that ball drops in fair territory up against the wall.
Number 22, the first baseman, Tony Guar.
Stewart made an ill-advised throw earlier in the ball game at third base and then let that drop in for a double.
Here's Tony 2 for 2. A double his last time up. He's driven in 2. Clark hit a home run on opening day against the Toronto Blue Jays. Has 2 on the season.
Funny how different things he's tried to change. He was working from an open stance for a while from the left side. Now he has closed that stance back up.
Clark takes the strike.
Always searching for something that will kick in and trigger some kind of hot streak.
He had 3 seasons, 97, 98, 99, in which he hit over 30 home runs for the Detroit Tigers. This is on top, 3-1. A lot of those years, as over the last couple of years, has had problems with his lower back. That has not appeared to flare up this season. He had 16 home runs last year for the Tigers. Nixon at second, the 3-1 crank foul. And unfortunately, that hit the front of the photographer well down there.
Good aggressive swing, though, by Clark. You know, 3-1 pitch. He wants to be out in front of it. He wants to try to drive it. Pulls that ball hard into foul territory. Nothing worse than seeing a power hitter be late on a 3-1 count.
There's for the gander at second. The payoff pitch is popped up foul above us and out of play.
Now the word on Carlos Baega, a strained left hamstring. Had to be taken out of the ball game. Maloney taking over at second base. We hope it's not bad. But you could clearly see Carlos pulling up as he was running down that first baseline.
A very solid June for Baerga. The 3-2 again, and Clark fouls it off. That hurt. Carlos Baerga in the month of June at 20 games, hit at .301, had 13 RBIs. 20 games in the month of June, and we hope that his hamstring heals in a hurry. Strained left hamstring. Had to leave the game tonight in the third. 3-2 again. Clark watches it go away, and it's ball 4. Nixon's going to try for third, and Fletcher can't get the handle. Nixon will get there.
Good aggressive job by Nixon at second base. Get there at third base with only the 1 out. Can score on a sacrifice fly. Clark just barely holding up the swing here on the breaking ball. He'll walk, and the ball gets by Fletcher. And when Nixon reads it, he moves up a bag. That's tough to see too, because it's directly behind the catcher and kind of closed in between the catcher and the umpire.
Well, the home plate umpire Bill Miller out to talk with Steve Parris. to check out the baseball. The next pitch for Steve Parris will be the 100th of the night. Toronto does have action in their bullpen. It appears a right-hander is up. Parris misses away to Johnny Damon. Justin Miller, right-hander up in the Toronto pen. Runners at the corners, one down, the 1-0. Damon watches it grab the corner, 1-1. Damon was intentionally walked to load the bases in the 4th inning. Lou Merlone then grounded into a fielder's choice that resulted in a run. Veritek coming from third with the 3rd Boston run. Red Sox on top 3-0. Chopped right side. Berg gets it at second, throws to first. Damon is out, but from third comes Nixon. 4-0 Red Sox.
Johnny Damon picks up his 39th RBI of the season. That's really the only play Berg had, was to go to first base and get the sure second out of the inning.
The second baseman, Lou Merlone.
Probably could have went to second maybe to cut off the lead runner, but didn't want to take that chance. Red Sox pick up another run.
There's Lou Merlone, who grounded into a fielder's choice his first time. Came on for Baerga, as we mentioned. Carlos having to leave the game with a strained left hamstring. He was 0 for 2 before leaving the game. Merlone 0 for 1. Popped up, foul ground. The pitcher heading over. Parris full bore with Delgado, and nobody can come up with it. Delgado went into the hook slide, and Parris really had the best bid, and he was still going full bore for it, but nobody gets it.
You're right, Don. He probably had the best chance. Here comes Delgado. He'll go into the slide. The catcher had no chance. And looks like maybe he just took his eye off it for a second and dropped it. Gets an A+ though for the effort.
Yes, he does.
He wants out of this inning bad.
Of course, he made the catch on the pop-up on Shay Hillenbrand an inning ago in the 5th inning, but that was much easier of a try on the third base line. Merlone carves it foul off the right side.
Second base has been the hamstring position this year. Ray Sanchez with really the blowout of the hamstring. He's been on the DL a long time. Hopefully back after the All-Star break. Baerga tonight aggravating his left hamstring. Hopefully not serious.
The 0-2 to Lou. 1-2 now to Merlone. And we anticipate that Ray Sanchez will be back after the All-Star break. Red Sox may have a few returning after the All-Star break. Sanchez, and the news today that Dustin Hermanson is getting closer and will return hopefully after the All-Star break if all goes well. A simulated game here at Fenway, maybe a rehab stint. In the air to left center field. Stewart and Wells are headed back. Vernon Wells calls and makes the catch to retire the side. The Red Sox get a run in the bottom of the 6th inning. We played 6 from Fenway. 4-0 Boston.
Tell you what, my old job, I really had to rely on getting the good calls.
And he struck him out.
Now it's your turn to make the call.
Tune in Red Sox Digest, NESN's half-hour pregame show, and Extra Innings, our expanded postgame show. Former Sox reliever Jim Corsi joins Bob Rogers to preview the games, analyze the outcome, and take your phone calls live.
It's Red Sox coverage you won't find anywhere else, so tune in, call up, and ask NESN.
Can't say we didn't tell you. If you want to get in the game, log on to NESN.com, your online ticket to New England sports. Catch New England sports all season long on NESN, and log on to NESN.com for live news and scores, to enter contests, win prizes, and more. Click on for NESN Newswire email updates. Check in on the NESN.com message board. Learn more about NESN and preview upcoming programs. NESN.com is your online ticket to New England sports. Log on and get in the game.
4-0 Red Sox as we go to the top of the 7th. The Mark Bavis Leadership Foundation Golf Tournament is sold out, but tickets are still available for the pre-tournament reception on Sunday, July 21st. Sponsored by Constar International and Boston University, the reception will be held at BU's George Sherman Union and hosted by Lenny Clark and Lyndon Byers. For tickets, call Events or Us at 781-938-1700.
7th inning at Fenway. Vernon Wells 1 for 2 tonight with a double, leads it off. Pedro Martinez has thrown now 93 pitches in his outing tonight. 11 strikeouts. If I'm not mistaken, his curveball has been one of his better out pitches of the night, as Hillenbrand to his left twists and fires to first in time to get Vernon Wells one down. Let's check in with Tom Caron. Tom.
Thank you, Don. We're out here with the K-Men for our Citizens Bank Not Your Typical Fan. We have a K-Man in training. Kevin Wixom has the K-ball. Kevin, what's with the ball?
I rub it so Pedro can get more Ks and end the inning.
It's supposedly good luck. It's a K-Men tradition. How's it been going tonight?
Really good.
You think maybe you're partially responsible for the great night Pedro's having?
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. He's rubbing the ball. Dominicus, we've had him on before. He's the leader. How do you get the K-Men in training, Dominicus?
We recruit a kid. We need a future out here. He rubs the ball. He's brought great luck to Pedro tonight.
Kevin's done a good job?
Kevin's done an outstanding job.
He's got a great future as a K-Man. Let's go upstairs.
All right, TC. One down here in the top of the 7th inning. Pedro Swan quickly in the hole, 0-2.
That's pretty good. Would they make the kid stand there the whole game and rub the ball?
Yeah.
All right.
He's a K-man in training. Pedro stepped back, but backing out was Pedro Swan. At times that's ill-advised. Once Pedro steps back, he usually likes to throw. The 0-2 line foul back into the seats.
Yeah, especially when he's in a groove like he is tonight. And of course the hit is to try to get him out of that groove by changing the tempo.
I wouldn't do that too often, though. You might end up with a face full of baseball at some point. The 0-2 is sliced foul off the left side.
I prefer to say you would be plucking it out of your side instead of a face full.
The 0-2 to Swan. He struck him out. K number 12 for Pedro. And the K-men are busy.
Now, according to my count, 8 of the 12 tonight have been on the curveball. And he has had a terrific curveball in this game tonight.
Well, he's about to reach the century mark. 99 pitches in his outing.
I'm going to change that, Don. 9 out of the 12.
Wow. Well, that hammers home the point even more. This is in the air to left off the bat of Lopez. Back goes Manny looking up, and that'll grab the base of the wall. Ramirez plays the hop quickly, but it's a double for Felipe Lopez.
Lopez looks like he hits this to the opposite field just above the padding on that left field wall. Manny backs off early. Yeah, hit the padding, and Manny going back a couple more steps. He might have been able to make a play on that. By the way, the 12 strikeouts, second time this year that Pedro's done it. 12 against Seattle back on May 12th.
Here's Jay Berg, 1 for 2, the Toronto second baseman. Look out at second base at Lopez. Pedro behind 2-0. Pedro's up over 100 pitches now in his outing. The Red Sox do not have action in the pen as of yet.
Flanagan checking that pitch count. 102 right now for Pedro.
Leonard's second takes off. The pitch is strike. The throw down is in time to get him. Jason Varitek throws out Felipe Lopez. 7th inning stretch time from Fenway. 4-0 Boston.
Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. The coffee you love served ice cold. You just can't live without it. Escape to a cooler place with Dunkin' Donuts' new summer sipper and keep your iced coffee ice cold.
What's wrong, Jim?
I think I've grown a second evil head.
Oh, sorry. What if we go get a refreshing Mike's Hard Iced Tea? Would that help?
I didn't know Mike's made a hard iced tea.
A hard day calls for a hard iced tea. Make it Mike's.
Jeep vehicles are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus, choose Grand Cherokee and get a $2,500 cash allowance, or financing as low as 0%. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Back at Fenway, 7th inning stretch time with the Red Sox on top, 4-0. Time now to take a look at the Heineken What's on Tap. Tomorrow we'll have 2. Both will be on Nesson. Wednesday will begin at 6:30. Thursday at Fox 25. The final game of the series against the Blue Jays. Then the Tigers are in for 3. First one on Fox 25. Fox National, joined by Jerry Remy on Saturday and Sunday on Fox 25 to round out the Red Sox against Toronto and Detroit. And we welcome everybody back here to Fenway Park. JP Ricciardi, Worcester native.
How you doing?
General manager of the Toronto Blue Jays joins us. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we're hanging in there.
Little trade today.
Yeah, just a little one.
Well, Mondesi going away to the Yankees, and how long has that been brewing?
I think it started on Saturday, where the Yankees called us and asked us if we would be interested in moving them, and it's just kind of heated up a little bit further today, so we were able to get it done today.
And you have picked up a lefty reliever, I'm told.
Yeah, Scott Wiggins, a left-handed reliever.
Omar Lyons, the center. Wells is there for the first out of the inning.
Left-handed reliever that's going to go to Double-A for us, and possibly be a reliever in the major league level.
Been kind of an interesting start for you, JP. You get the job here, and you got a lot of rebuilding to do, moving some veterans out, trying to develop your own system. I mean, it's tough to put timetable on stuff like that, but
well, I think the hardest thing to do, Jerry, is to develop and rebuild and to have veterans at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, you're either one or the other, and we're trying to get to the point where we are totally rebuilding. And I think if you look out, our third baseman, our shortstop, our center fielder, we have a young second baseman that's been in and out of the lineup a little bit. We have a couple of good young arms, and we're getting there. It's just a matter of, we have to walk before we run.
Well, you got to be very happy with the move of bringing Hinsky over from Oakland. He's been a terrific rookie for
Yeah, he's been great for us so far. We've been trying to hint to Joe Torre to take him over there in the All-Star game, but I don't think it's working. But we've been excited with him. We feel our shortstop's got a chance to be a heck of a player. And we've got a couple other guys. We ruled 5. A right-hander named Corey Thurman from the Kansas City organization that's pitched outstanding for us. Got a 2.92 ERA. Never pitched above Double-A. So we feel like we got some things coming. You're going to see one of our young catchers up here tomorrow, Josh Phelps. a guy with 24 home runs in the International League. So by the end of September, we hope that we'll be a totally different team, and we'll be going in the direction leading us into next year.
I know you spent a lot of time with the Oakland A's organization. Would you like to see Toronto kind of go that route at this point?
Well, I think the one thing we have in favor outside of what we didn't have going for us in Oakland was we were really strapped financially in Oakland. We do have some restrictions on us in Toronto, but not as much as we had in Oakland. So where Oakland's a $40 million payroll, ours may be 50 to 55, and I think you can put a good product on the field for that. It just comes down to, you know, evaluations and your scouting and your player development and making some wise decisions on what you do.
Now, you've had the difficult job of having to fire a manager, which is not an easy thing to do at any stage.
No.
And of course, most of the coaching staff going along with him. How about Carlos Tasca? How has it been for you so far?
Carlos has been great. He's a guy that spent a lot of years in the minor leagues, and you know,
we'll pick it up next inning.
Sure,
if
no
you
problem.
can hang around with us. Here's the ground out to end the inning. We played 7 from Fenway, 4-0 Boston.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh. Just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Yeah, I got that, honey. Do you like when Daddy help me?
Well, that stinks. Yeah, I really liked her. Yeah, she seemed like a lovely girl. Looks like you could use a refreshing Mike's Hard Lemonade. You're on.
A hard day calls for a hard lemonade. Make it Mike's.
The wonder of it all. Take a chance, make it happen. Pop the cork, finger snapping. Spin the wheel, round and round we go. Life is good, life is sweet. Grab yourself a front row seat. Let's meet and have a ball. Let's live. Yeah, let's live for the wonder of it all. Meet me at Foxwoods. Foxwoods.
Back at Fenway, 4-0 Red Sox as we go to the top of the 8th. Well, this season on NESN, you'll get extra interviews, extra highlights, and extra analysis on extra innings. NESN's expanded postgame show brought to you by Keyspan, putting more energy into life. After the last inning, the action is just beginning.
Pedro Martinez back out there as he works his way into the 8th inning. Dealing with Dave Berg. We are visiting with Worcester's own JP Ricciardi, the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. And JP, I believe you were answering a question right before we went to break there.
And I forgot the question.
What was the question, Jerry? You remember the question? Everybody forgot the question.
That's all right.
Oh, you were talking about Carlos Tasca. That's what it was.
Yeah, Carlos has done a great job. You know, he's managed 1,700 minor league games. I mean, he's seen a lot of stuff. He was Buck Showalter's bench coach. He's run spring training for him. And, you know, he's done a good job. So right now, for where we're going and what we have, it's a good fit.
Nixon digs it out of the corner, and Berg is into second base, sliding with a leadoff double.
Now, we were talking earlier about seems to be a lot of big names being moved early before the deadline. Because do you have any idea what the reason for that? I mean, we saw Cologne go up to Montreal.
I don't.
Yankees anxious to get Mondesi.
I really don't. I just think it's like anything. It's kind of cyclical. Sometimes they just run where, you know, you may not see anything for a while, but, you know, the key is to be able to strike when you can. And this situation, we were fortunate.
I imagine you'll have more knocks on your door too before you get to.
Yeah, we got some pretty good players. You know, we got some players that I think can help some people, and you know, the guys that are not going to be in our future, we don't mind moving them along.
Carlos Delgado has a no trade clause. Is that correct?
Right.
You mentioned. So he would have to agree with anything that we're going to do there.
Yeah.
Generally, Cash has a way of changing a no trade clause.
Yes.
Yeah, that's usually what wipes him out.
On the ground to third off the bat of Stewart. Hillenbrand will throw out Shannon Stewart. For the first out. Well, this has to be a real thrill for you, JP. Of course, we mentioned you're a Worcester native, now a general manager of a major league team. Lifelong dream for you to be where you are right now?
Actually, it wasn't my dream to be a general manager. It was my dream to just stay in baseball after, you know, playing in the minor leagues. But this kind of evolved for me. It was a great opportunity. I left a great opportunity in Oakland. Great situation, great people. My best friend is Billy Bean, and you know, we really had a good thing going there. And this was just an opportunity to come over here and try to duplicate what we did in Oakland. So you know, we're looking forward to the challenge.
This is Jose Cruz Jr. is 0 for 3. Remember when Toronto and Skydome was banged out on a nightly basis? I guess now is trying to get the fans back into it once again.
Right, and that's a challenge in front of us. I mean, you know, 92, 93, they won the World Series. They were the hottest thing going. The Skydome was relatively new. People came out to the ballpark, and it's worn off. The lust is worn off, and it's time for us to try to bring it back.
And the breaking ball in there to Cruz.
Anytime you take on a new job, obviously you bring people who you're comfortable with you, and I imagine there's a lot of evaluation going on right now throughout the whole system.
Yeah, we are. We have to find out, you know, get people on the same page and beliefs of what we're trying to do. So it's a big process, but you know, it takes a little time. I think we'll get there though.
Pedro with 12 Ks tonight. This is chopped down the first base line, and we'll go foul. Visiting with JP Ricciardi, the general manager of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Well, we hate to do this to you tonight, but Pedro, you know, has a little revenge on his mind. You guys kind of beat him up a little bit.
That's what I told these guys. And plus, Atlanta came in here, and so it wasn't a good time to be coming in there.
Well, you must be busy with friends and family back here.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible, but it's fun. It's fun. Always fun to come to Fenway.
The 0-2 will miss inside. You were a coach as well, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Well, I coach and manage in the minor leagues, but in the winter I coach high school basketball at Holy Name High School in Worcester, and we had a lot of fun.
That'd be tough for you to end that.
Yeah, it was, but we had a lot of fun, so it's time to move on.
Yeah, this job pays better too.
Yeah, that's the only thing that my wife likes about it.
The 1-2 to Cruz. He struck him out. Strikeout number 13 for Pedro Martinez. The most Ks in 2002 in any one outing for Pedro. And the K-men are busy out there in right center field.
Well, they usually bring a lot out there, and they're getting to use them tonight. 13 for Pedro. This is the changeup down and away from Cruz. Most of his strikeouts tonight on curveballs, then the changeup, and just a couple on the fastball. He's had all three pitches working for him tonight. Not too many cutters tonight. Only, I would say, 5 or 6 cutters so far in this game.
13 strikeouts for Pedro. Hinsky knows all about the strikeout situation, as he has struck out 3 times tonight and is 0 for 3. JP, is it different being the general manager of a team that is not in the United States, being in Canada? Are there money constraints in those areas? We've heard some things before.
Well, obviously the exchange rate kills us.
Yeah.
You know, we have to take in Canadian and pay out American, so that's not a good situation to be in, and that's why we need to be, you know, financially sound in the decisions we make.
Pedro misses away, 1-1.
Do you guys have to go through customs every time you go back home?
We do, but it's not as bad as going through probably what you guys do. We try to make the visiting teams have to go through heck.
Yeah, I wonder why we have to wait there for 4 hours every time.
Wait till next time you guys come in.
They always check that Remy bag over and over again. 1-2 to Hinsky. He has struck out 3 times tonight and is down in the count 1-2. The Fenway faithful hoping Pedro can come up with strikeout number 14 of the night. It has been a masterful performance for Pedro Martinez. Ready with the 1-2 pitch. Hinsky's down by way of the K. It's 14 strikeouts for Pedro Martinez. 7.5 done with the Red Sox on top 4-0. JP, thanks very much.
No problem.
To you.
Nice seeing you guys.
4-0 Boston.
Jeep vehicles are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus, choose Grand Cherokee and get a $2,500 cash allowance, or financing as low as 0%. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
What do you call a room where everyone loves to gather? Where a color brightens your entire day? Benjamin Moore calls it mellow yellow. I call it inspired. To make it all come together, I went to my Benjamin Moore dealer for the best paint and the best advice. They've got the color preview studio display to find the perfect color, premium Benjamin Moore paint, and answers to all my questions. Now I have the quality I need and the color I want. What do you call that? I call it confidence.
Benjamin Moore. We make it simple, you make it beautiful.
Back at Fenway Park, the Red Sox on top by a score of 4-0. It has been the pitching of Pedro Martinez. Outstanding tonight. Pedro has struck out 14 through the first 8 innings and has sent down Eric Hinske 4 times by way of the K. Pedro with 14 of them tonight, likely done after 117 pitches, and the Red Sox on top 4-0.
Check out the walks. No walks.
None. Most strikeouts on the year for Pedro in any outing. And the Red Sox, Martinez with his 14 Ks. Veritek single, walk, 2 runs. We head now to the bottom of the 8th inning. New pitcher on for Toronto. It's Felix Heredia, and he faces Brian Daubach.
28th appearance for Heredia. Came over in that deal that sent Alex Gonzalez to the Cubs.
Steve Parris, the starter. 7 innings, 10 hits, 4 runs. He walked 3, 1 intentionally, and struck out 2.
I'd say the Blue Jays have to be very happy with the outing from Parris too tonight. Only his 4th start of the season, coming off that shoulder surgery.
An interesting situation developing tonight in Major League Baseball. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Pirates and Brewers are scoreless. Kip Wells, formerly of the White Sox, has a no-hitter through 6 innings tonight. He's up against Jamie Wright. So a no-hitter through 6 tonight for Kip Wells. Steve Parris, before he left, retired the last 5 Red Sox in a row. Daubach's 0 for 3 tonight and grounds it foul into the seats.
Not quite sure if my count is correct, but of the 14 strikeouts for Pedro tonight, I have 10 of them with the curveball. 2 with the fastball and 2 with the changeup. That is an unofficial count, but it's pretty close.
You're as reliable gets. I'm going to say you're right. Ryan gets a new bat. We mentioned that 14 strikeouts for Pedro tonight. You got to go back till April the 8th of last year, or the most since then. He had 16 against Tampa Bay. 1-2. Daubach waves at it. Fletcher's got to throw him out as he got away. He does. And Heredia strikes out Daubach. Been a tough night at the plate for Brian. He's 0 for 4.
Well, it doesn't help when your last at bat you have to go up there and face a left-hander who kind of slings the ball up to home plate. You quickly fall behind and he just throws any kind of breaking ball and you chase it.
Here's Jason Veritek. A single, a walk, a lineout, and 2 runs scored tonight. He scored the first and third Boston runs of the night. Red Sox on top 4-0. Veritek now batting from the right side against the 26-year-old left-hander Felix Heredia from the Dominican Republic. And with the Cubs over the last 4 previous seasons, 3 years with the Florida Marlins, and in the big league since 1996, and came to the Blue Jays part of the Alex Gonzalez deal. 2-1 now to Veritek. In his 6 big league seasons, he has held left-handers to just .218. Only 8 home runs given up as it's fouled off the right side. And coming into the year, he'd given up only 25 home runs in 339 major league outings. We saw how tough he can be on lefties as he struck out Brian Daubach. Ready with the 2-2. Just outside the line and foul.
What a smart move there by the ball girl. Did you see that?
Yes.
She wasn't sure whether the ball was called fair or foul, so she jumped out of the way to make sure that ball would stay in play. Excellent heads-up play. Look at that. She's thinking the game all the time.
That's a tough situation. It really is. I mean, you wait all night. You don't know. Fair, foul. You got to wait. As Veritek takes strike 3, back-to-back Ks for Heredia.
That ball girl should go to the All-Star game for that. How many times do we see him go out on the field and make a play on a fair ball?
Right.
There's the strikeout to Veritek.
One of the more underrated positions in the ballpark.
Always thinking, always thinking. Wait till the umpire makes the call. Play the game. Looks like she might have a date going there too with the member of the ground crew. Something's working.
Nixon is 2 for 3 as he takes a strike. It's quite an assumption on your part. Could just be having a casual conversation.
I think it's more than that, Don.
You do. A strike again. Nixon's not happy. 0-2.
See, the kid's trying to act like he's the big boss down there in Canvas Alley. He's telling her that I'm the big guy here. I've been here a long time. I can hang over the thing if I want. And she seems to be very impressed by that.
Wait a minute. Are these two guys talking to each other? I'm sorry. Nixon quickly out, and Heredia strikes out the side in order very impressively. We played 8 from Fenway, 4-0 Red Sox.
What's wrong, Jim?
I think I've grown a second evil head.
Oh, I'm sorry. What if we go get a refreshing Mike's Hard Iced Tea? Would that help?
I didn't know Mike's made a hard iced tea.
A hard day calls for a hard iced tea. Make it Mike's.
What do you call a room where everyone loves to gather? Where a color brightens your entire day? Benjamin Moore calls it mellow yellow. I call it inspired. To make it all come together, I went to my Benjamin Moore dealer for the best paint and the best advice. They've got the color preview studio display to find the perfect color, premium Benjamin Moore paint, and answers to all my questions. Now I have the quality I need and the color I want. What do you call that? I call it confidence.
Benjamin Moore. We make it simple, you make it beautiful.
This is a donut. You should always have one of these in the trunk of your car. If you get a flat tire, you simply replace it with the donut. In this case, strawberry frosted with jimmies. And drive to Sullivan Tire. My mom just got a whole set of tires, so she shouldn't be needing this for a while.
For quality Goodyear tires and certified auto service, come into Sullivan Tire.
Don't procrastinate.
NESN's exclusive coverage of Boston Red Sox baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. By Citizens Bank, not your typical bank. And by your friends at Mobile, who remind you to use Speed Pass, today's way to pay.
Back at Fenway, the top of the ninth, the Red Sox have the 4-0 lead. We remind you this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Boston Red Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Boston Red Sox.
Pedro is done after 8 innings, 7 hits, no runs, no walks. He struck out 14. Alan Embry, the new Boston pitcher.
4th appearance for Embry. He's worked 2 1/3 innings, no hits allowed, no runs. He has 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. His last outing coming against Atlanta, pitched an inning with a couple of strikeouts in that ball game.
Here is Carlos Delgado, 1 for 3, singled in the 4th inning off Pedro. He'll be followed by Darren Fletcher and Vernon Wells in the top of the 9th. The Delgado shift is on with Garcia Parra on the right side of second base. 3 infielders on the right side. Only Hillenbrand on the left side, and again it works. Second time tonight. Merlone throws out Delgado, 2 down. Honestly, 2 down? It's only 1 down. 1 down.
Ladies and gentlemen, your
and that'll bring up Fletcher's 1 for 3. Tough to get 2 outs on the first ground out. We got a pinch hitter for Darren Fletcher. This is Joe Lawrence who will pinch hit for Fletcher. Fletcher about 1 for 3.
Well, I don't know if Pedro knows about it, but that Young came in training up there. The little kid they had rubbing the baseball tonight, they may want to have him back next time Pedro pitches.
Went well tonight.
He did a heck of a job with his 14 strikeouts.
I wonder how his hands are. I mean, that was roughly 2 hours and some 15 minutes of rubbing the ball. I don't know if he has to continuously rub the ball like when Steve Parris was out there. Does he still need to rub the ball?
Maybe when you get 2 strikes, maybe that's when he does it. There he is. Is that him in the middle? No, that's not him.
I think he's done. He's probably tired. Joe Lawrence, the pinch hitter, waiting on the 0-2 from Alan Embry. This is up top, 1 and 2. It's good though that that group has younger ages, older ages. They keep it going over the years. The 1-2 on the ground, softly towards Nomar. In a couple steps to the hard, accurate throw. Now there's 2 down. 6-3 on the put out of Joe Lawrence, and the Blue Jays down to their last out.
Number 10.
Here is Vernon Wells, who's 1 for 3 tonight. A double in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 7th inning. Pedro Martinez with 14 Ks tonight. Eric Hinsky struck out 4 times against Pedro. And the strike to Wells. We will be with you tomorrow for the entire day.
Yes, all day long.
All day, all Nesson, all the time tomorrow. The Red Sox and Blue Jays will play 2. On the ground outside of 3rd, and it's 0-2. How do they work the food situation? I'm a little concerned about that. Do you get to eat in between games?
Oh yeah, nice.
Good.
Yeah, nice meal between games.
If I had to pack a lunch. Well, for the first time in a while with the NL in over the weekend, the Red Sox fans come to their feet here with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the top of the 9th. The 0-2 pitch on the ground to his left. Hillenbrand lays it out, gets up, and throws to first in time to end the game. Shay Hillenbrand, a good play on that end. Tony Clark, a good play on that end. 5-3 on the put out of Wells, and it's a 1-2-3 9th for Alan Embry. The Red Sox win the first game of this 5-game series against the Blue Jays as they shut out Toronto 4-0. Impressive tonight, an understatement for Pedro Martinez. 8 innings, 7 hits, no runs, no walks, and he struck out 14. And Tony Clark having a good night as well. Was on base 3 times tonight. A single, a double, a walk, and 2 runs batted in for Tony from the number 9 spot. And Trot Nixon continues to hit for the Red Sox. He had 2 hits tonight, 2 for 4. Nomar had the other 2-hit night for Boston as they win tonight's game 4-0. Pedro Martinez jumps into double figures in wins. He's now 10-2. Steve Parris takes the loss. He is 0-2. Please be sure and stay tuned for extra innings. It's coming up next on NESN.
When you can hear your wedding song again and again. When you can pick tulips over roses and get a reminder of why you're marrying him. All with a calling plan starting at $19.99 a month. That's M-Life from AT&T Wireless. Stop by or call 1-800-IMAGINE today.
Just let the clutch out slowly. Easy.
I'll never get the hang of a stick shift.
Hang on. Why don't you just pull in over there?
That was easy.
Nothing says summer like the return of lobster rolls to McDonald's. We're talking 100% real succulent lobster on a delicious roll. But hurry, because like summer, this offer won't last long.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh, just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Yeah, I got that, honey. Do you like when Daddy-O be?
Well, that stinks. Yeah, I really liked her. Yeah, she seemed like a lovely girl. Looks like you could use a refreshing Mike's Hard Lemonade. You're on.
A hard day calls for a hard lemonade. Make it Mike's.
It's all right.
To find a great job in Greater Boston, go to the job site that specializes in Boston, bostonworks.com.
Closed captioning for extra innings on Nesson is provided by Verizon, the Yawkey Foundation, Dunkin' Donuts, and Aflac.
Just another day at the office for Pedro. He gets a 10. And how about Tony Clark out of the 9-hole? At last, offense from first. Red Sox baseball continues here on Nesson. Extra inning starts right now.
Live from our Nesson studios, Extra Innings. Extra Innings is brought to you by Keyspan, putting more energy into life.
Yes, way to get back on track for the Red Sox. Welcome to Extra Innings, everybody. I'm Bob Rogers. Remember this guy, Jim Corsi? Thanks for joining us, Jimmy. You know,
good to see you.
Missing the pregame show tonight, but Jimmy's in the house. The Red Sox back in the win column. They are now just a game and a half behind the Yankees in the American League East. Our Keyspan player of the game, who do you think it's got to be? It's got to be Pedro Martinez as he improves to 10-2 on the season, lowers that ERA to 2.85. He's clearly an all-star, goes 8 shutout innings, strikes out 14. He had great command tonight, 7 or more innings now in 7 of his last 10 starts. So Pedro Martinez is our Keyspan player of the game. Please join Keyspan and Pedro in supporting the boys and girls clubs of Boston. Keyspan putting more energy into life. You know, before the ball game tonight, we were watching Tony Clark take batting practice, and for the first time in a while, it really seemed like he was driving the ball. Now, clearly, his first hit tonight was not a big blast, but it got the job done. He was a big reason why the Red Sox won the ball game tonight. He joins us now with Tom Caron down on the field.
Thanks very much, guys. Here with Tony Clark. Talk about the night, obviously. And watching you in the batting cage before the game, you seem to be crushing it today. What was going on tonight? Was something different? You were just getting good wood? You seen it better?
Yeah, slowly but surely, I've been getting myself in the right position. I was just fortunate enough tonight to get in some hitting counts and find some balls, or have some balls find the hole. So hopefully we can get a little carryover into tomorrow, but slowly but surely getting to where I'm feeling more comfortable.
First and second, you come up, you get the key single down the line. Both runs coming in on the single. Talk about that pitch, what you saw and what you got?
Well, it was a fastball up and in, and again, a game of inches. You know, I snuck that ball down the line, and then Trot, being the athlete that he is, was able to score from first. So again, it's all about placement tonight. Very fortunate for the ball to find the hole, and just thankful to be back out there.
Pedro was as good as we've seen him this year.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You know, you got a pretty good chance anytime he's on the hill, and he did an outstanding job as usual, hitting his spots, keeping everybody on their toes as far as defense is concerned, throwing strike one. It's vintage Pedro tonight.
New month, new haircut, no more interleague play. It's all good here on the 1st of July.
Well, you know, slowly but surely. The sun came out, and all that hair I had on top of my head had to go to try and cool off a little bit. So showing a little bit more gray nowadays, though.
Tony, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
That's Tony Clark. A couple of runs driven in, a couple of hits and a walk. Let's go upstairs to Don and Jerry one more time.
All right, Tom, thanks a lot. Well, interleague play is over for the Red Sox. They come home, game 1 of the 5-game series against Toronto, and Pedro Martinez outstanding tonight.
You know, I think a little revenge on his mind tonight. He got roughed up here on opening day by Toronto. Had a little bit of a problem up in Toronto against him also. So I think he takes great pleasure in this outing tonight, getting the 14 strikeouts. It was fun to watch. I mean, he had the fastball when he needed it. He had a great changeup and also a terrific curveball that he got most of his strikeouts on. And nice to see Tony Clark get that base hit, driving a couple of runs. Been struggling all season long on base 3 times tonight for the Red Sox.
Red Sox will have 2 tomorrow. We'll have them both for you here on NESN. We'll see you tomorrow. That does it for us upstairs. Back to you, Bob.
Hey, wait a second. We're real excited, too. We hear that Jerry Remy's actually going to be in the studio tomorrow for extra innings taking phone calls. You ready for that, Rem?
I don't know where the studio is. Somebody's going to leave me there.
We'll drag you down. All right, looking forward to that tomorrow. Great day of Red Sox baseball on tap here on NESN tomorrow, Jimmy. They got the doubleheader. Seems like the Red Sox have the Blue Jays number. Clearly interleague play, not what the doctor ordered for the Red Sox, but playing Toronto at this point is.
It is, and they got off the right on the right foot with Pedro having a great start. They need to keep it going. What's been hurting them is their offense. They've still been pitching good the last 3 weeks, but they haven't had the offense. They haven't had that extra hit. And tonight they had a couple big hits.
Talk about that offense. Tonight the Red Sox put Tony Clark in the number 9 hole. You don't usually see a first baseman bat in the 9 spot, but tonight that's what Grady Little does, gives Tony Clark a chance to hit, and the big guy comes through. Jim, that's not a scorcher, but it got the job done.
No, sometimes they don't look pretty, but they all look good on the scorecard. And he put the ball in play. He did what he had to do.
And one of the big reasons why I thought that Tony Clark would have success in Fenway Park, that's why, Jimmy, because he can go the other way, use the wall a little bit. We haven't seen him do a lot of that, and that was nice to see tonight.
No, at the beginning of the year when we were watching him take BP, he was driving the ball to the other way.
And, of course, he also brings the glove as well. So maybe, again, you know, one game does not get a guy like Tony Clark out of a slump, but maybe tonight we saw something that maybe he can build on.
It is, because he took the ball in the inside half of the plate, pulled it. He took the ball on the outside half of the plate, drove it off the wall, and that's what you need to do to be a good hitter.
All right, Red Sox beat the Blue Jays tonight. Pedro Martinez gets win number 10. We're just getting started here at Red Sox Extra Innings on NESN. We want you to join us by calling 1-866-ASK-NESN. It's 866-275-6376. Phone lines are now open.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh. Just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Nissan 4x4. It's the next frontier.
There's a better way to stay cool this summer. The same dependable people you rely on for all your heating needs also install, replace, and service Central Home Air Conditioning.
It's 4 half hours of fresh air, fun, and more. Charlie Moore, your host for NESN Outdoors. Brought to you by Obashan Hardware. NESN Outdoors features a weekly lineup of New England outdoor programming. Voting today for whatever floats your boat. divers down exploring New England's underwater world. And then back-to-back episodes featuring the mad fisherman himself in Charlie Moore Outdoors. So tune in and get out each week on Nesson.
Red Sox taking care of business tonight. They give the ball to Pedro Martinez, tell everybody else to get out of the way. That's a good recipe for success, and it worked tonight. You know, a little bit of news before the ball game. Frank Castillo dropping the appeal of his suspension, so the game tonight, he'll serve the 2 games tomorrow. He'll be able to pitch again on Friday. That works out well. And Dustin Hermanson told Grady Little that he thinks he is ready to go. In fact, threw in the bullpen, said no pain, looks good, feels good. We're going to see him after the All-Star break. You can count on that. Top of the 2nd inning, Pedro on the hill. And you knew early that he had good stuff. The strikeout pitch was working. Scoreless in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And Tony Clark, batting 9th in the order tonight, gets a pitch on the inner half of the plate, bounces it down the right field line. Jason Varitek and Trot Nixon as well. Good job here by Mike Kovich. A lot of times you don't hear about the third base coach unless they get somebody thrown out, but that would have been a close play with a good throw. Instead, Nixon's in safely. It's 2-zip.
He had a good jump on that ball, but Tony Clark did a good piece of hit.
Carlos Baerga then grounds one to short, pulls up lame, a strained left hamstring. That's a guy you don't want to lose. Bottom of the 4th inning, the base is loaded. Lou Merlone is in for Baerga, and he will come through for the Red Sox as he grounds one into the hole at short. They'll get the out at second base. That's it. They won't turn 2, and it's 3-0. So the offense, you know, wasn't spectacular tonight, but they put the runs on the board for Pedro and Jimmy. This was outstanding to see.
This was. He had everything going tonight. He had a good fastball, good curveball, good changeup. I can't believe how many curveball strikeouts he had. I think he had 10 curveball strikeouts tonight.
I think it's a great sign, too, that he says he wants to pitch in the All-Star game. He is feeling fine. Steve Parris then walks Tony Clark. Darren Fletcher bobbles the ball. Trot Nixon goes from 2nd to 3rd with one out. Good hustle.
He did. He had a good jump on that ball.
The next batter up, Johnny Damon, grounds one to 2nd. Nixon scores from 3rd, so moving up the base helps out, and it's 4-0. But again, you get back to Pedro. And the Red Sox needed this because the bullpen was tired after that long weekend against Atlanta. Ugi Urbina had to pitch a couple of innings yesterday, so Pedro comes in 8 innings, 8 shutout innings, all those strikeouts out there. If you could add them up quickly, they'll come up to 14. He gives up just 7 hits. Here's the offense for the Red Sox tonight. Johnny Damon went 1 for 3 with an RBI. Nomar had a couple of more hits. He's an all-star. And at the bottom of the order, Trot Nixon, Tony Clark combined for 4 hits. They go 4 for 6. That's good to see at the bottom of the order again. It's been a while since we've seen production down there.
It is. You got to. It all adds up, and it gets the top of the order up again. But this might get some confidence going for Tony Clark.
And as far as the pitching is concerned, you give the ball to Pedro, tell everybody to get out of the way. And Jim, you know, one of the things we've seen of late from Pedro is that confidence again. You can see the look in his eye again that I think he feels like he's back. The arm's feeling good. He's 10-2. 8 shutout innings with the 14 strikeouts and no walks. That is vintage Pedro.
It is. He's got the eye of the tiger. He knows what he has now. He knows that his fastball is not going to be consistently 95, 96 miles an hour. So he's learning how to pitch with a variety of fastballs between 90 and 96 miles an hour.
And do you think that's going to come back as the season moves along? Maybe that fastball will come back
I think
again.
some games he'll have it, and some games he won't. But he's learning how to pitch with the different velocities. And at the beginning of the year, he was building his arm up, and his control wasn't as good with the different velocities. But right now, he takes what he's got, and he pitches with it.
All right, the manager has to be happy. Your first look brought to you by Bank North with Red Sox manager Grady Little.
You looked any better than that this year?
No, he gradually keep getting better and better each and every outing, and tonight was probably the best I've seen him, and he knows what he means to this ball club. I don't know how many times in the past he's stopped a losing streak like this, but he's done it plenty of times for the Boston Red Sox, and tonight was another time.
What do you think he had working the best tonight?
Everything. His fastball, his changeup, and his curveball. He had a good feel for his curveball out there tonight also. And when Pedro's right, that curveball has a lot of similarities to the changeup, and from the dugout sometimes it's hard to tell. So that's when you really know the breaking ball is getting good.
How happy were you to see Tony Clark break out of it a little bit? Comment on Tony Clark breaking out?
I think Tony Clark's character around this team, I think everyone is happy when he's able to get something accomplished out there like he did tonight. that'll be a big plus for us if he gets it back going.
You guys have 3 wins in your last 11, and Pedro has all 3 of them. What does that say about his value? Pedro has the Red Sox 3 wins in the last 11. What do you say about Pedro's value?
Well, it's kind of a misleading thing. You know, we it's a long time in between wins. That's what that says. But we can't say enough about what Pedro means to this ball club. And he set out to do a job tonight. He had a good plan against those hitters, and he took it right and put it in place, and it worked out good for him.
Talk about Pedro as an all-star.
I think the fact that Pedro Martinez was selected on an all-star team after going through what he's been through the last 6 or 7 months is quite a treat for everyone involved, and especially him. It shows you about what he's made of and how he's been pitching. That's more than an honor for him to be selected this year after going through what he's been through.
Coming in the Yankee trade tonight?
The Yankees are tough, whether they make trades or not. They're a tough ball club to beat anytime you play them or anytime anybody plays them, and any kind of additions they make, well, it just makes sense that they'll make them even a little bit tougher. But we're glad they took that kid off this Toronto team before the game tonight.
First Look with Red Sox manager Grady Little is brought to you by Bank North, home of the free checking. And just in case you have not heard the news yet, the trade that Grady Little was talking about, the Yankees acquiring Raul Mondesi from the Blue Jays in exchange for a minor league or a AA player. But the reason to make this trade, Jimmy, is to dump all that salary on the Yankees, and JP Ricciardi very glad to do that.
Yeah, they were good to get rid of the money, but the Yankees are getting something here. This guy hasn't lost his ability yet. I think with the change of scenery, he's going to start, lighten it up a little more. He was batting .220 with Toronto, had 15 home runs. He still has great bat speed. He still is a 5-tool player. So they didn't get a slouch. They get a slumping slouch.
A slumping slouch. It's going to be interesting to see if he handles the pressure in New York. Time for our Coors Light Silver Bullet Blast update. Unfortunately, the Red Sox did not hit a home run tonight, so there are no winners in tonight's Coors Light Silver Bullet Blast. But stay tuned to NESN, and our next Red Sox game could be your chance to win. More extra innings coming up next on NESN. Stay with us.
Would you like any fries with that?
Allow me. Do you have mashed potatoes and gravy?
No, just fries.
Coleslaw?
Just fries.
Baked beans?
Nope.
Biscuits?
Nuh-uh. Just fries.
Thank you. Gentlemen, let's go to KFC. I'll drive, you pay.
Get a 10-piece picnic feast with 10 pieces of original recipe chicken, 2 large mashed potatoes with gravy, a large coleslaw, and 6 baked biscuits, all for just $15.99.
You sitting on my biscuits, Clyde? There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
There's a better way to stay cool this summer. The same dependable people you rely on for all your heating needs also install, replace, and service central home air conditioning.
Nissan 4x4. It's the next frontier.
Red Sox improved to 47-31 on the season. A little bit of news from the farm. Casey Fossum getting his first start with the Paw Sox today. He goes 4 innings, gives up 3 runs on 7 hits. He strikes out 5, walks 3, does not figure in the decision a game that the Paw Sox won against Ottawa 7-4. And we have to wish your mother a happy birthday. Happy birthday to Dottie before we get to the phone calls.
Happy birthday, Mom.
And you want to apologize to Raul Mondesi. You don't want to call him a
No, I didn't mean to say that. I meant the change of scenery is going to help this guy. Plus, they're playing for something. They're in contention.
Don't back down.
Because he's a great guy. He's a good player. He's a competitor. He
He's a
plays
Yankee
hard.
now. He's a Yankee
He plays
now.
hard.
I like the slumping slouch thing better, a whole lot better. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk up first to Jerry from Woonsocket, Rhode Island. You're up first. Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
How you doing?
I want to know, now that the Yankees have traded for Raul Mondesi, what are the Sox going to do to boost their lineup, whether they're going to pick up another pitcher to get a third guy in the rotation, or are they going to go after a big bat? And when Dan Duquette was in town, he did all the wheeling and dealing. Who's doing that for the Sox these days?
Well, that's Mike Port making the trades. And, Jimmy, I wonder if this is going to maybe spark maybe more action here in Boston. I know Mike Port's working really hard on trying to pull something. It's not easy to come up with a trade. You know, you and I were talking about a lot of the players that are available. What do you think? What's he going to do?
It's going to be hard to get somebody because they don't have that much to give up in the farm system, so it's hard to do that. And Dustin Hermanson is on his way back, so I think the pitching is set. Once Dustin comes back, helps in the bullpen, they'll be all set. They might have to go get another outfielder.
All right, we'll see what happens with that. Let's talk to Bill from Warwick, Rhode Island.
Hey,
Hi, Bill.
guys. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a question. Brian Darbuck's been in the slump for almost the whole month of June. I'm not sure what the stats are, but according to my account, something like 4 hits for the whole month.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys, we're in a pennant race, and some of these games that you know, he's going 0 for 4 in are critical. We need another bat at first base. This is something you know.
All right, I got the. What do you think? I mean, right now tonight it was Tony Clark. Do you think maybe Grady Little should stick with one of these guys for a little bit of time and see if they can get out of it?
They got a doubleheader tomorrow, so I think they're going to stick with Tony Clark's going to get another start. It's hard to get on a roll when he was playing all three guys. When he was playing Offerman, Dahlbeck, and Clark, because Clark was going to be the #1 first baseman. He slumped at the beginning of the season, so they're filling the hole. But I think they need to stick with one guy, try to get Tony Clark hot, DH Bryan and Offerman. Just see what happens for a little while. You can hang out for a couple weeks, see if he gets
Jimmy,
hot.
one thing that sticks in my mind, Dauber hit 149 in the month of June. I can remember when he joined us on Extra Innings, and we asked him about this whole business of him being a streaky player, and he said he didn't think he was a streaky player. He thought it was when he needs a day off, when he is in a little bit of a slump, to get his head back on straight. So maybe that's the case. He's had to play a lot of time now because of the injuries and whatnot to Manny Ramirez. Maybe taking a step back, and when he finally goes back in, he'll get on another one of those streaks.
Yeah, it gives you time to relax and do some things on the bench, watch tapes, go take extra batting practice, just breathe. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on these guys, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Absolutely. Let's get some post-game reaction from this win for the Red Sox tonight. Let's head down and hear from Jim Malone.
2 runs into the Tony Clark hit. Maybe a week ago, Trout's gone down to the plate, and the whole tenor of the game's different.
Yeah, you know, and you could see the way you started off. You know, both Johnny and Omar kind of getting infield hits a little bit, and guys kind of just missing some balls that we're hitting and placing them down the line. It was nice. It was nice to see. You know, a couple those are breaks like that we really haven't been getting in a while.
Chance, keep looking at Pedro start to start here to sort of see where he's at. Jerry Remy, by his count, said 10 of the strikeouts came on curveballs. It is a new Pedro Martinez in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Well, he was still throwing hard. I mean, he hit 96, you know, a couple times. Everybody's so velocity, you know, all they worry about is velocity, you know, and conscious about how hard he's throwing. And, you know, he doesn't have to throw that hard to be effective, you know, and but he had it tonight. He had his fastball, and like you said, that curveball, man, he was burying on lefties, and he got a lot of his strikeouts on that pitch, and he just really had good control with that tonight. And, you know, I mean, the guy's 10-2 and 2.8 now, so I mean, to me, that sounds like a pretty good season. You know, I think that we just expect maybe him to have a 1.8 right now, you know, but he's fine with me, man. I'll take whatever he's got.
No, you thought. All right, we have some breaking news too from the Red Sox locker room. This just in now, and that is Pedro Martinez has declined to go to the All-Star game. He said, thank you for the invitation, thank you for the offer, feels good to get there, but for personal and team reasons, he has decided not to go to the All-Star game. That does not mean necessarily that Johnny Damon is in, because Joe Torre could fill that spot with a pitcher.
He could fill that spot with a pitcher, but maybe Pedro's doing Johnny a favor. You never know what's going on, but maybe Pedro wants to just take the break.
I like
take a break.
I like it. I think it's
rest your arm.
I think it's a very good decision for Pedro Martinez. We'll talk more about that.
117 pitches tonight too.
Great pitches as he shuts out the Toronto Blue Jays. A little bit of help from the bullpen as he goes 8 shutout innings. We'll be back to talk about that and more next on Extra Innings.
vehicles are known for capability, and now during the Jeep Challenge, we rule on a whole new level, starting with our 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain pledge on engines and transmissions. Plus now, qualified returning Daimler Chrysler lessees can get a $298 a month lease on Jeep Liberty. So take the Jeep Challenge. You'll see we're hard to beat.
Hey, you guys got to give me a head start next time.
Great products, great protection, great values. Take the Jeep Challenge. See your New England Jeep dealer.
It's Dirtball Mayhem! See metal crunch like cereal. It's electrifying, it's extreme, it's blockboarding.
So basically, it's two fat guys rolling cars. Hey, Jim?
Miles away from other light beers. Corona Light.
It's July on Nesson, and we're in mid-season form as the Red Sox face divisional rivals, head north of the border, and close out the month on the West Coast. Stay tuned for Diamonds in the Far East, Baseball in Japan, July's one-hour front row special. Nesson keeps an eye on the farm in July with more Paw Sox coverage. Nesson is your sports news and information leader with Sports Desk at ESPN News. It's Nesson in July, and we're in mid-season form. Japan, land of the rising sun and the sinking fastball. America's pastime rules in Japan, and Nesson gets you a front row seat with Diamonds in the Far East, Baseball in Japan. Discover a passion for baseball that's out of this world, or at least on the other side of it. Diamonds in the Far East, Baseball in Japan, a one-hour front row special premiering Sunday, July 7th at 9 on Nesson.
Of the team, you have to take pride on and respond, and that's where my pride is. If I do the job, it's not just taking it, it's doing it. It's performing, it's coming, up in the clutch, and that was something that I was really concerned about today, coming into the game, and I was trying to maintain my focus just on giving the team, the best chance I could give them this year to win a ball game, because this is probably the worst time we're going to go through this year, knocking on wood, if we stay healthy. I don't think we're going to have any other stretch as bad as we had so far.
Pedro, Brady said felt that you were just about where you were. How do you respond? Do you feel like you're just about everything?
Are you where you want to be right now?
Actually, I'm not as strong as I want to be, or as I have been. But like I said before, this is good enough. It would be too much for me to ask for more when I'm doing the job I'm doing and responding the way I have so far. A 10-2 record at this time of the year. I think I'm a little bit spoiled at this moment, coming off an injury like I had last year, and having to overcome so many things that I'm not used to. And you know what? I've been feeling better, especially this last month. I've been feeling better. So it's something that I don't know how it works. Most of the time, this will be the month that I'll feel the worst. All of a sudden this year, this is the month where I feel better. Regardless of what you saw in the first 2 months, this month I feel better than I did the previous month. And in my career, throughout my career, I've always been bad in this month. I feel cranky, I feel a little heavy arm. And I don't know really. So I feel fine. I don't want to ask for more. I just want to continue to do what I have been doing and hopefully pick up the team when needed.
Could you just comment on the All-Star game? Obviously, it was a big honor, and I'm sure you would have liked to. Can you just comment the statement that they passed out?
You talk about the All-Star game?
Well, it's just, this will be one All-Star that I'll be as happy as I was when I got my first one. Because overcoming all the things that I did, the injury and everything, especially not knowing for me, not realizing what was going to happen during the season, I think that is something that I certainly appreciate. But declining it's I think the smartest thing to do at this point, plus I have some personal matters to take care of. It's a perfect time for me to take a little break and make sure that I continue to be the way I have, because I wouldn't trade a World Series for an All-Star. And I mean, it might sound a little bit cocky from my part to say a World Series, but that's how I'm thinking. And that's how my teammates are thinking, and Grady and Tony, they all agreed. So I have to follow the old advice from the old people. And I think I made the right decision by declining it and listening to those guys that have more experience than I have.
Pedro, did you make this decision recently, or did you know a month, 5, 6 weeks ago that you would not be in the All-Star game if you were?
When did you make this decision?
It was all going to depend on how Grady and the coaching staff would feel. And, I could go to the All-Star game, and I feel good enough. And I'm very pleased and very honored to have Joe Torre and the American League pick me up for the All-Star game. And it's also a great achievement for me. Coming off an injury last year, it's something I wanted, because it means I regained my status. And that is something that I take pride on. And, it's difficult to describe, because as a player, only you know how you feel and how you react to those things. But at this time, I think it's in the team best interest that I don't go. My teammates will take full advantage of me coming off in the second half, and hopefully maintaining what I so far have been able to give them. These little stretches, the big game where we need someone to step up. I've been able to do that, knocking on wood, and thanks to God, I hope I can do that again and again, even if I have to quit going to the All-Star game, which means a lot to me this year.
Pedro, did you give any consideration to going but not pitching?
Think about going and not pitching?
I wouldn't go if I'm not going to pitch.
Well, because you did do that 1 year, though, right? I mean.
Yes, I did, but it was in the team interest that I represented the Red Sox. And Dan asked me if I could just be there and represent the Red Sox. And I did that. I didn't mind. I didn't have anything to do. So just might as well go, sign some autographs and stuff. But this time I have something to do. And I'm not going to play, because I don't need, anything to happen to me in an All-Star game where, what am I going to prove?
Have you already been in contact with the, with the league about it? I mean, is that?
Have you been in contact with the league yet about it?
No, I haven't. It was an inside decision. It was me and Tony and Grady getting together. Some of my teammates also gave me advice on that. My brother Ramon also had something to say about it. And they all agreed for some reason that I just remain, taking my rest, continue to be the way I am, and hopefully maintain that for the season.
Last 4 starts for Pedro Martinez, a combined 31 innings, only 6 runs. He really seems like he's back. I wonder how Grady Little and Tony Cloninger will feel about saying, I'm going to take the old guy's advice. They are a little old, but...
Experience. It's not old, it's experience.
Wise old men. Good decision for Pedro, I think.
I think it is. Just to keep him on a... Let him go get the rest. Let him relax. Rest his arm, rest his mind, and then come back for the second half.
And Jimmy, tonight's ball game was game number 78 on the season for the Red Sox. Wednesday will be the official halfway point. He's already halfway to 20 wins. He's having a tremendous season. He's not the same Pedro we've seen in the past, but he's still one of the very best in baseball.
He's not the same Pedro as far as velocity. His velocity is down on average, but he still has a great changeup, great curveball, and he pumps it up to 95 when he needs it. His just overall velocity is down a little bit, but he can still pitch at that level. 8
shutout innings tonight for Pedro, and he improves to 10-2 on the season. One more break on extra innings. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up, tell you a little bit about tomorrow's big doubleheader at Fenway. Stay with us.
Get into the driver's seat in the battle against breast cancer. Join the effort to find a cure by taking a spin in a brand new BMW as part of the Ultimate Drive. Take part in the Ultimate Drive when it cruises into your local BMW dealership. And for every mile you drive, BMW will donate $1 to the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation for research, education, screening, and treatment. Since 1997, BMW and the Komen Foundation have raised over $5 million. Help make it $6 million by test driving a BMW.